That's 64-bit versus 32-bit. OBS 64-bit's got a glitch. Right? Yeah. Holler at me when you're ready to go live. Right? Right. I gotta go to the restroom. Hang on. Okay, I'm back and ready to roll. You all ready? No, we're ready to go to burn it to the ground anytime you're ready. They've only got 24 seconds left to qualify. All right, let's roll. We got 5 watching already. Testing, testing.
Testing. I get a credit.
All right, we're going live.
Tonight we have a spectacular event in store for you. The East Coast Thunder Racing Group presents the Helloween 500. So light the match and watch this baby burn to the ground live on DRTV.
And we welcome you to DRTV's live coverage of the Helloween 500 from the Talladega Superspeedway here in Alabama. Well, Todd, I think we should say tonight, the Hellodega Superspeedway in Talladega, Alabama. A new look to this awesome 2.66-mile Talladega Superspeedway. We're going to see a Halloween theme here tonight as we burn it to the ground. The Helloween 500 from our good friends at East Coast Thunder Racing. Good evening, everybody. My name's Phil LaCasse, along with my broadcast partners, Too Tall Todd Stanton and Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton, as always, in the DRTV control booth. An awesome event we have on hand tonight. It's a long one here, 141 laps here at this spooktacular Talladega Superspeedway. Awesome layout here. Tons of great things you're going to see all over this racetrack that just celebrate the fest here tonight. It's Fright Fest here on DRTV. Spooky theme, and Todd, a great deal of the cars we have on hand. I count 29 drivers here ready to take center stage here. 141 laps. It's a long race, but this should no doubt be a great race.
Yeah, last time we were here with the East Coast Thunder Racing Group, they gave us one whale of a show, and hopefully this evening there's going to be even a better show here from the East Coast Thunder Group. Looking around this track, Phil, I've seen a lot of grave sites around there. I'm wondering who's buried down there in those, in the tri-oval even. Tri-oval in the corners, there's some gravestones down there. I'm wondering who's buried down there, and maybe one of the future winners will be buried down there, maybe because he maybe spun somebody out or something to that effect.
Well, the first thing that come to mind to me when I seen that, those tombstones down there in the infield there at the edge of the pit road is maybe it was my driving talent that got buried down there. So, I don't know, it'll be one of the many things we could talk about tonight here on DRTV. But now for the first time tonight, down to Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton in the booth. Rich, we've been hard at work here all the last couple of days getting ready for this event, and hats off to all these guys at ECT. We're in for a great event here.
Yeah, most definitely in for a long night tonight. 141 laps around this 2.66-mile tri-oval. Pit road speed's going to be 55 mile an hour. They are running moderate damage and 2X tire wear. Pit window looks like it's going to be between 16 and 19, maybe 17 to 20 laps on some of these guys if they can push it. I kind of heard through the grapevine, talking to the owners and the admins earlier tonight, that there's a group of 4 guys in here that are particularly known as gas conservatives. So going to be interesting to see how they play this out. 141 laps around tonight. It's going to be a long night, and hopefully we see a lot of green flag racing and hopefully quite a few green flag pit stops. Back up to you guys.
Well, and Rich touched on it right there. We hope to see, in a long race like this, you think these guys will just, ride a line by their time. I mean, it's 141 laps at Talladega. It is going to be a long evening here. Hopefully we don't not see those dreaded big wrecks, but those kind of things can happen at Talladega. But Todd, I think the biggest thing to take key out tonight, maybe not just miss that big wreck, but pit stops, as Rich said. You got to nail it tonight. I mean, at a long race like this, it could just ruin your night. There's one bad pit stop.
Yeah, you're going to have to come down pit road. No speeding penalties, nothing to that effect. You're going to have to make it clean down through there. And you can't slide through your pit stall because seconds cost you even more seconds on the track, I'm going to say, because I've been on that end of things, especially around a track like this, a super speedway here this evening. And it's hard to gain back seconds. If we go green flag racing the whole distance, Phil, and you make 2 or 3 costly maneuvers, even one maneuver on pit road, it could spell the end of your night here this evening.
Well, it no doubt could. So, a long way to go here. So, 141 laps. It's going to be a long one. It's Fright Fest here tonight. Spooky night on DRTV from the Talladega Superspeedway. Now, these guys are just about 3 minutes or so away from getting this event under the green flag conditions. As we said, it's 29 cars here to take the green flag tonight for this Helloween 500. A lot of familiar names to us we haven't seen here in a little while here on DRTV, but guys, you look no further than top of the leaderboard here tonight. The guy rolling up on the pole, the number 17, Chuck McClure. We know Chuck knows how to get around Talladega. Look back through the top 5, guys like Brian Schilling, TJ Hagler. We know those guys know their way to the front, and it'll no doubt make for an awesome race tonight here around the Talladega Superspeedway, as we're about 2 minutes plus here before we get this thing under the green flag. Trying to get word from race control, maybe who may want to just sit down here for a quick interview. Got no answer from a few of the guys, so maybe we can get a word about Pulse. Let's see if we can get Chuck McClure. There we go. Chuck McClure, fellow cast of DRTV. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir. How's it going tonight?
Oh, we're doing great. Chuck up there on the pole tonight. It's a long way to go here. 141 laps at Talladega. What's the strategy going to be behind the wheel at number 17 here, right out of the gate?
I want to try to get hooked up with Brian Schillen and maybe the 51 and Mike Scott and just try to stay safe until the last part of the race and then maybe try to go for a win.
Well, that's what Todd and I just touched on here briefly. Got to stay safe out there. You got to make it to the finish of one of these things. Is the strategy going to be for you guys to hook up and maybe stay to the front of the field all night long, or are you guys maybe going to roll back through traffic? Or I mean, such a long race, and of course, if we get a run out of the green flag pit stops, that's going to be so crucial as well. So, is the strategy for you to keep that 17 up front all night long?
As close as I can, because I got to tell you, the farther you are back, the better your chances are having to either avoid a wreck or be in one. So if I'm in front of the wreck, I don't have any problems.
Well, maybe that's why I failed so many times here at Talladega, because I'm always one there to try to be conservative, not getting that hornet's nest, as you say. But, Chuck, we got a long one here tonight up on the pole, so congratulations on an awesome lap, and we'll hope to catch up here later on. Good luck.
All right. Thanks, fellas. Have a good show.
All right, Todd. Chuck McClure, the pole sitter up in the number 17. An impressive lap up there, but he said you look up and down this list of the driver roster here tonight. It is stacked. It is star-studded, and, Chuck's going to have his work cut out for him.
Yeah, Chuck's going to have his work cut out for him. There's a lot of drivers out through the field, Phil. They're going to have their work cut out for him. Brian Bell, a name that rings in my head quite a bit. He's starting way back in the 30th starting position. And then JT Matthew in the number 38 machine, or Mayhew in the number 38 machine, I should say. Another guy that's usually up towards the front. When we last visited here at East Coast Thunder, he was up towards the front. So some of these guys are going to have a long road to hoe here this evening at the Talladega Super Speedway. It's going to be interesting. 141 laps, a lot of different strategies going to play.
There'll be so many interesting strategy plays here, and if you get into one of these green flag runs here, the fuel window, as Rich said, 16 to 19 laps, when you get to settled out into line, those laps can click off awfully quickly, so we'll have to keep an eye onto the pit road. I believe we'll have a DRTV punt cam, as always, when we come to Talladega ready. I don't know, Todd, it's the Halloween 500. You look around, you see all these spooky sights all over the place, you see tombstones down in their front stretch. Is the punt cam just the right name for that thing tonight?
I think so. The punt cam, it's been here for quite a while, and we're probably going to see some spooky things out of that punt cam, and maybe some weird things might happen down on pit road, but we're going to have to just wait and see what that punt cam can reach out and grab here this evening at Talladega.
Well, a lot of things to keep our eye out of, and those tombstones, they really freak the heck out of me coming off of turn 4 there at that high rate of speed. You just hope to God we're not in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. Something you may see something come just crawling out of there and maybe put us under the yellow flag. So we're just goofing off here. We're about to put this thing under the green flag conditions. The happy hour clock has expired. These cars are getting onto the grid. So Todd, let's just jump straight into the starting lineup.
And now your starting lineup for the Halloween 500 presented by East Coast Thunder Racing Group here live on DRTV. Starting on the pole, the driver, the number 17, out of Moundsville, West Virginia, that's Chuck McClure, and his dancing partner outside, driving the number 4 machine, that is Brian Schilling.
Inside row number 2 will be car number 51, that being piloted tonight by TJ Hagler. On the outside of row 2, in car number 96, that's Ricky LeDuc.
Next row back, starting in the 5th starting position, that's the number 73, that's Larry Broger, and outside of him is the 088, that's Tim Nosker.
A very heavy hitter row here in row number 4, rolling off 7th tonight behind the wheel of car number 95. That'll be John Forgione. On the outside of number 4, in the number 39, that's Josh Metallic.
Next row back, driving the 07, that is Rick Moon and his dancing partner to the outside, driving the number 69, Jason Wolf.
Mark Paglia is going to roll off from the 11th starting position tonight in car number 428, and on the outside in the number 46, that'll be Mike Scott.
Out of Stephen Cities, Virginia, that's the Nature Boy, Donnie Garrett, driving the number 75, starting in that 13th starting position. And outside of him, in the number 88, Gary the Slingshot Mingus, in the 14th starting position.
Rolling off from 15th tonight behind the wheel of car number 54, that'll be Robbie Nisus. On the outside, rolling off into number 31, that's Todd Taylor.
Next row back, starting in the number 17th position, that's the number 83, that's Chris Taylor, and outside of him, it's Jim Woodrow in the number 12 machine.
Newcomer here to us on DRTV will roll off from the number 19th position in car number 014. That'll be Jerry Walters. On the outside, row number 10, 20th starter in car number 1. That's Pete Sindone.
One of the admins here at East Coast Thunder, starting in that 21st position. That's the number 18. That's David Lawson. And Nebrosio in the number 99 is starting 22nd.
23rd starter tonight behind the wheel of the number 41 will be Greg Trogdon. On the outside in car number 33, rolling off 24th will be Fred Morrell.
Next row back, starting in the 25th position, that's the number 21. That's Danny Savory. And Bruce Phelan in the number 13 is his dancing partner to the outside.
Rolling off of a 27 position tonight will be behind the number 336 will be Brian Hogue. On the outside in the number 38, that'll be JT Mayhew. And rounding out the field, 29th starter in car number 25, that'll be Brian Bell. That's your starting lineup, the Helloween 500 here from the Talladega Super Speedway here. 141 laps the distance. The DRTV pace fan is in turn number 4. And Todd, as you say, we're about to put that loud pedal down and get this thing underway.
Yeah, it's going to be McClure and Schilling to lead them down. These guys seem to be teammates. McClure said he's going to try to hook up with Schilling and Hagler amongst the top 3 guys there. So 3 of those guys looking to hook up with each other. Pace van takes that hard left-hand turn down pit road for the first time here for the Helloween 500. We're getting ready to go green flag through the tri-oval. McClure, Schilling, Hagler, and LeDuc, that is your top 4 getting ready to get green flag. Green flag is in the air, and the loud pedal is down. Lap and a half to go, full song here around the Talladega Super Speedway.
Well, for the first time tonight into turn number 1, the race pole sitter Chuck McClure down low, and then number 17, Brian Schilling up high. That number 4 trying to fight back on that outside line. So far for the first time off turn 2. Looks like the inside line may be the place to be. Here comes TJ Hagler. He's right there racing Schilling for that second spot down the back straightaway.
Yeah, Hagler is battling side by side with Brian Schilling. Right now, Hagler working with the 17 of Chuck McClure. McClure right now holding on to the lead, but the number 4 of Schilling trying to fight back on the high side. Multi-grooves around this Talladega Super Speedway. Grip levels change throughout the middle, high, and the bottom side is what I was told earlier on in the going. Yellow flag number 1 is going to fly here at the Helloween 500 here, Phil, and I'm not sure what happened to bring out this yellow flag.
I see some guys just straggling off the back of the pack, and might have the responsibility could be an engine out there, as I see the 18 of David Lawson may have expired an engine. Looks like he may have to pull that thing to pit side, hopefully maybe get that thing pointed in the right direction. But right away here on lap number 1, working lap number 2 now, we're under the first yellow flag tonight. The race leader is Chuck McClure. He was your pole sitter in that number 17. Brian Schilling, TJ Hagler, Larry Borger, and Ricky LeDuc will make up your top 5 with John Forgione, Tim Knopfsker, Rick Moon, Josh Metallic, Jason Wolf. That's your early top 10 just out of the gate here. The Helloween 500 over here paying a visit here once again to our friends at East Coast Thunder. I'd like to thank Pete and Mike and all the admins, David Lawson, so many of the great guys over here. Been so fantastic to work with, as always, every time we come over to ECT. Unfortunately, under the yellow flag for the first time tonight, and for the first time, we'll pay a visit down to Rich in the booth to give us our first DRTV replay.
Yeah, guys, you pretty much said it like it was. Looks like the 18 was watching those gravestones pretty closely and decided he wanted to go down there and be a part of them. Not the fact that he left the track, but his motor completely let go. We're going to go ahead and play this through at full speed. And as you can see, just as he's getting up to speed, kaboom, here goes the motor, there she goes. Nothing but smoke coming out from underneath that hood. He's going to pull it down on the apron, but that's going to be enough to cause the caution as other cars are trying to catch up. Now, an interesting fact that these cars that were so far back, they were spread out so well on the track, guys, was because there was some spinning going on in the back of the field at the initial start of this event. So the last probably 6 to 8 cars got spread out pretty thickly or pretty soon back in the back. Back up to you guys.
All right, so under the yellow flag, working now lap number 3. It's 141 laps here tonight on DRTV from the Talladega Super Speedway. The Halloween theme, it's the Helloween 500 for our friends at ECT. Under our first caution of the night, unfortunately for our good friend Mr. David Lawson, unfortunately looks like he may have expired an engine here. That's going to be the responsibility for the first yellow flag. So, not something we do here very often, but we'll see if we can't make this our interview of shame here tonight on DRTV and talk to David there in the number 18. David Lawson, Phil LaCasse, DRTV. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir, I sure do.
David, unfortunately, looks like the motor expiring there. Going to end your night early, but I'm sure you're heavily disappointed, man.
I am, because this is the second TV race that I've been in where I've blown my motor for doing something stupid. I just went from third gear to second gear, and poof, there it went.
Well, unfortunately for you, David, I thought the same thing. Last time we saw you here at a big restrictor plate track, you were also out of the event early. I'm not going to put you on the spot there and name names, ask you who may be responsible there for under the power plant, under the engines. But David, it's unfortunately to see you out of the event so early on. I know you put a whole lot of work here, as all the admins over here, East Coast Thunder did. And I just want to say hats off for an awesome job of getting us all over here tonight.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys coming over, and want to thank the guys over at ECT, Pete for putting this bad boy on for 13 years in a row, and TJ and Bruce and Mike and all the admins for all the stuff that they do around here. It's a great league to run in, and if anybody wants to run over here, you're more than welcome. Just sign up on the Facebook page or the website too.
Where can we find your website, David?
www.eastcoastthunder.com, I believe.
Yeah, eastcoastthunder.com. How you get in touch with these guys over at East Coast Thunder? Well, David, it's tough to see you out of the event here tonight, but thanks again for everything, and we'll hope to catch you here real soon, and hopefully get that black cloud out over your head. So, thanks again for a few words. Unfortunately, the interview is shame here tonight, but we'll hope to talk to you here soon. Thank you very much.
No problem, guys. Thanks for having me up here.
All right, David Lawson. Unfortunately, as you said, we've seen him a few months ago over one of these. I believe it was as part of the Tally Challenge a few months ago. There on a Thursday night, and unfortunately for David Lawson, the 18, his night's over early.
Yeah, unfortunate for David Lawson and his night being over. Maybe the black cloud, the DRTV black cloud, is just hanging over him just slightly. I didn't pick him, so there must be some other black cloud out there, Phil, that's haunting the number 18 machine spectacular event here for the Helloween 500 East Coast Thunder. I'm going to throw it down to Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton, who has our sponsors. Who all got us here this evening, Rich?
Yeah, most definitely, guys. You already talked a little bit about it. Let me switch that over there. So, ECTSimRacing.com. You can find them at www.ectsimracing.com. ECT Race Sim Racing. This is the guys putting on the race tonight out of the ECT house. A good group of guys, 29 drivers. These drivers all race with each other frequently, so there should be a good event tonight. And if you're interested in getting involved with this group, go check them out at www.ectsimracing.com. Next on the docket is NRT Game Servers. Now, these guys race out of Race LM's house, but as you all know that follow DRTV, we run out of NRT Game Servers. Our websites, TeamSpeak, everything's hosted out of NRT. So if you're looking for a game server or just a web server or what have you, try to get in touch with Dave over at NRT Game Servers. Without a question, the best in customer service in the business. And then, of course, none of this wouldn't be coming to you if it wasn't for our group itself, DRTV, Sim Racing Television. If you're looking for the best in sim racing television, check us out. You can get a hold of us at drlracing.com. drlracing.com is the home of DRTV. Back up to you guys in the booth.
All right, well, while we touch on that, the home of DRTV, as Rich said, drlracing.com. Click over to the website, check out all the great event packages, get your league showcased here on DRTV, get Rich, Todd, myself over. We'll love to showcase everything your league's got going on, and the event packages all custom fit to all your league's needs. So find us, drlracing.com. Also, check out the DRTV store, the store on that, the DRL page. Lots of great stuff there, a lot of great things, especially, Todd, as you've been pushing here in the recent weeks. DRTV DVDs, all our events, all available on DVD. Click over to the DRL Racing website, drlracing.com. Check out the DRTV store. So many great articles there. And as Todd has said, those DVDs, they make for great stocking stuffers. Ain't that right?
They do, and any of the merchandise in that DRTV store make for great stocking stuffers. Only $10 for them DVDs, Phil. $10. That's all it is to have something that you can share with your family and friends here on the big screen TV during the holidays. You know, you got Thanksgiving coming up, so the DVDs, I'm telling you, $10. You guys just go out, grab a DVD, beautiful, beautiful DVD, and to watch it on the big screen is way different than watching it live here on DRTV.
So the DRTV pace fan lights are extinguished. The field is in the back straightaway. Double file restarts look to be the name of the game over here at ECT. It's going to be Chuck McClure, Brian Schilling there in row number 1, Larry Borger, John Forgione there in row 2, Tim Nosker and Rick Moon. That'll be your third row, your top 6. As we're working lap 5, it'll be 6 laps on the board. 141 laps here tonight, making up the main event distance for this Helloween 500, the Halloween version here of the All-Star Race, the 13th annual. I was blown away today when I saw that come across our information. 13 years running, they have run this Helloween 500. We're thrilled to be a part of it tonight here on DRTV. The pace van in turn number 4, as customary at Talladega. It is a long way through that tri-oval. Start-finish line perched there close to turn number 1. So it is a long roll through this tri-oval. Pace fan about to take that hard left-hand turn. It's Chuck McClure down low. It's Brian Schilling up high. All these spooky, spectacular paint jobs up and down this grid tonight. So many great-looking rides that we'll have to give you the greatest looks as we do, as Rich does week after week here on DRTV. Well, this hats off to all these guys. These things are fantastic. Todd, the pace fan is on pit road. We're about to light the wick and put this thing back on the green.
And getting ready to go back to green flag racing with McClure, Schillings, Borger, Forgione, Nosker, sitting in your top 5 right now. Green flag is in the air. The loud pedal is down, and it looks like McClure didn't get as good of a start as Schilling on the top side, but Schilling doesn't have the help that McClure does on the bottom, Phil.
No, absolutely not. That low line looks to be the fast way around as they get into turns number 1 and 2. Chuck McClure able to springboard out into that race lead on that low side, but that high line trying to fight back. John Forgione's got it rolling up high. He's going to make quick work of Tim Nosker there. He's going to turn his attention to Brian Schilling as they get halfway down the back straightaway.
Yeah, Borger moves into that second spot in that number 73 machine, now pressing the number 17 of Chuck McClure. McClure out front right now. These guys are 2 by 2 from 4th on back so far, Phil. These guys are real racy here early on in the going.
No, so far, very, very hot and heavy near the front of the field. Top 4 cars have broken away, being led by Chuck McClure. As they get back to the start-finish line, they'll put lap number 7 up on the board. Looks to be single file throughout that top 5 or 6 positions. Everybody trying to find their way to the low lane. Looks like the first race on the speedway for that side-by-side is going to be between Jason Wolf on that 69 and the Nature Boy, Donnie Garrett, the 75. They're racing for ninth, Todd, off turn 2.
Yeah, Donnie Garrett looks like he's going to be able to pull off the pass and move into that 9th position in that 75. Now somebody is pulling out of line, trying to find out who is pulling out of line there, Phil. Looks to be, I can't really see here this evening, the number 25 of Brian Bell. Remember, Bell started back in the 30th position. Now he's back in line. But Brian Bell making a move up through the field here early on in the going in that number 25 machine, Phil. He started 30th on the grid.
Yeah, he started way back deep in the field, and with the benefits of that first caution flag, able to just drive through. And, you know, we saw a couple of guys come onto pit road, so Brian was able to make up a lot of positions. He's now racing alongside John Forgione. That's the race for the 6th position through turns number 1 and 2. John down low in that black and white number 95. That Scooby-Doo machine up in the high lane, that 25 of Brian Bell. Here comes Josh Vitalik in that orange number 39. He's going to fill that inside line down low. Todd, so far, looks like everybody low line takers. Brian being that first car up in that high side, trying to get something going, but so far can't get nothing done up there.
A little bit of dirt terminology, hub sucking around Talladega Super Speedway. The number 25 of Brian Bell, the only guy up on top right now. He's got some help, though. It looks like from the form of the number 69 of Jason Wolf. Bell cannot do it all by himself on the top side. Some of these guys got to go up to the top right now, but most of these guys staying to the bottom. They say this is a multi-groove track, so maybe they're just trying to learn some of these grooves and what kind of passes they can make for later on in the event, Phil, as it is 141 laps. We're about ready to complete lap number 10 of 141 here. We're going down the back straightaway, though. But some of these guys starting to jockey out of the line and maybe even try the high side a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like that the race leaders may be under fire for the lead. We have a race for the lead as they hit turn number 3. Brian Schilling in that number 4 got help in that high line from that number 088 there of Tim Nosker, that black machine filling that high lane. Almost was able to pull it off to the race lead. Got Brian up to that 3rd position, now 3 wide as they hit the tri-oval.
Yeah, Windrow in that number 12 machine making a 3 wide down through the tri-oval, down the front straightaway, going into corner number 1. That number 12 machine still up on the top side. Donnie Garrett on the extreme bottom in that 75 machine. He's making some headway, Phil.
Donnie Garrett trying to flex his muscle here early on in the going. That awesome looking Hotel Transylvania 2, number 75 on that low lane. Last time by, Donnie was scored in that 7th position. He's got his hands full with Brian Schilling in that middle lane. Brian's got a lot of help back there from Jim Windrow in that number 12. Jim been trying to get that third line worked in. He's going to fall back to make that 2 grooves of racing. Top 6 guys, all single file for the race lead as they exit turn 4.
Yeah, again, it looks like that bottom side still forming. It looks like some of these guys on the bottom side, nobody going up top, Phil. Looks like Brian Schilling put out a parachute there for momentarily there, but now he's got 4 guys up top. You've got Brian Bell up there. You got Jason Wolf. You've got 5 guys up on the top group, but there's a whole gaggle of cars down on the bottom side.
Well, a whole gaggle being led by race leader Chuck McClure as they exit turn number 2. Larry Borger right there, the 73. Rick Moon, the 07. John Forgione there in that low side. Those top 4 guys have broken away. That race is in that 5th position now. Brian Schilling in that number 4. Donnie Garrett, the 75. Tim Nofsker's there as well in that number 088. They're racing for that 5th spot. Still all chasing race leader Chuck McClure on that low lane as they exit turn 4.
Yeah, McClure working over the low line. Brian Schilling still in a heavy battle with the number 75 of Donnie Garrett. Garrett right now running in that 6th position. It's going to be 6th again. Once again, Brian Schilling going to beat him on the high group. But these guys staying pretty much single file down on the bottom side, Phil. It's really interesting to see this kind of strategy early on in the going.
Yeah, you're seeing this front group not getting off that bottom side at all, as you see Chuck McClure there off of turn number 2. Pull that thing all the way down to that yellow line, not letting anybody get a run there on the low side. That being Larry Borger right in tow. In Rick Moon as they hit turn number 3 for the first time, all chasing that number 17 of Chuck McClure, who will be the subject of our first DRTV driver spotlight.
Yeah, guys, we're watching number 17 of ECT, Chuck McClure, is coming out of Moundsville, West Virginia. Currently, he was your pole sitter tonight. He has not left the top spot all night long, and looks like he's going to be the one to beat. These guys just cannot get around him, and that top side certainly is not doing any work for him, guys.
Now, top side just seems to be stalling out when they get around to that 4th or 5th position. First car to line there, the 336 of Brian Hogue. He's made a great run from deep in the field. He started off in that 28th position tonight. He's found his way now up into the top 10, racing alongside that Donnie Garrett machine for that 5th position. Top 4 guys all still down on that low side as they hit turn number 3. We're working lap number 13 of that 141 lap distance that make up the Helloween 500 here tonight on DRTV. We're over at East Coast Thunder Racing. Great group of guys here. The 13th annual Helloween 500. This race done on the weekend of Halloween every season. What a great race, a great idea this is. And, just take a look around this Talladega Super Speedway tonight. The Halloween theme, the orange walls. You're seeing tombstones down on the infield, and you're looking at the grass when they go through the exit of these corners. I mean, just a cool atmosphere to look around. A very, very different look. The black clouds are in the sky. We'll hope to have no black clouds here. And so far, no black clouds for the race leader, Chuck McClure. He was our pole sitter. He's led each of the first 14 laps. Now, one thing to start thinking about, Todd, these guys have yet to come to pit road. We've seen that fuel window was that 16 to 19 lap window, but we've had that one caution flag. How much longer do you think these guys are going to be able to stay out on a full tank of fuel?
I don't think they can stay out much longer, maybe 5 laps if they're lucky. I did see some of the guys when we were talking there. Some of these guys were down on pit road taking fuel and taking tires, one of them being TJ Hagler. Hagler was down on pit road there, and he ended up getting 4 tires and a full tank of fuel, just topping off his fuel tank under that yellow flag. So some of these guys did come down pit road, Phil. Ricky LeDuc was another one that came down and got fuel. So some of these guys will be able to stay out a little longer here this evening.
So just to update what's going on here down the back straightaway, we're going to be looking for the fuel window here. The window will be open here about any time. We're working lap 15, as you said, 16 to 19 laps, maybe a lap or 2 more with that caution flag. This top lead group, 26 cars strong, separated by under 2 seconds as they exit turn number 4. The race leader is Chuck McClure. Larry Borger's been right there on his back bumper at that number 73. The 07 of Rick Moon currently in that 3rd spot. John Forgione in that low side, that number 95. He's 4th. the battle has been for that 5th position throughout here. Brian Hogue's up there in that 336 machine. Donnie Garrett, the 75 down low. You see Brian Schillings in that high lane in the number 4. And a good run, Todd, out the gate from Mark Paglia, the 428. He started deep in the field as well. He's up to that 8th position. A good run for Mark out of the gate, but so far it looks like nobody can penetrate up to these top 3 positions.
Yeah, if you're watching these guys on the top groove, like the 336 of Brian Hogue, it looks like they get more of a run towards the end of the straightaway. These guys on the bottom seem to have to check up a little bit more, but it seems to be not enough. The top group will gain like they're going through the tribal right now. The top group will gain a little bit on, like, let's say the 336 versus the 75 machine. That's Donnie Garrett. They gain quite a bit coming down into the entrance of the corner, but then through the middle and center off, the 75 will gain it back and actually be able to pull by the 336 of Brian Hogue.
So we'll keep an eye on the progress of that Brian Hogue machine. As we said, he started deep in the field, currently running in that 5th position down the backstretch into turn 3. Before we get to this round of green flag pit stops, we'll make Brian Hogue the subject of our next DRTV driver spotlight.
Yeah, most definitely, guys. 336 of Brian Hogue. Don't have a paint skin for him tonight, but this is some pretty amazing stats. Started in 28th. Highest is 5th. Lowest, obviously, 26th. Should have been 28th, but he currently passed by the last time 5th place, so he has already moved pretty much through this entire field tonight, trying to make that top line work, guys.
Yeah, he's been stuck on that outside groove all night long, trying to make that run to the front. Now, Brian, talking to him a few nights ago about this race, he's a super speedway guy. He loves to play this drafting game. He's very, very good at it, very, very comfortable around all these guys in a 2 and a 3 wide conditions. And, you know, Brian will no doubt, Todd, if I know Brian Hogue, and we've got the race here on many occasions, I think he's going to stay close to that middle side and try to find that high line a little later on here in the race.
Yeah, I think you're going to. Green flag pit stop should be coming up here, Phil. I haven't seen any binds come up or anybody talking on the radio about green flag pit stops, but that's going to be a thing. That punt cam is going to have to be pretty active down there. We're going to have to see what happens with that punt cam, because some of these guys are going to come in hot and heavy, and you might see one of your first mistakes on pit road with that punt cam, Phil.
So as we await that fuel window to be open up here, working lap number 19 of that 141 lap distance, Rich will throw up the DRTV punt cam for the first time tonight. We'll turn our attention to pit road off of turn number 4, see if there's any takers here when we exit through this corner. They're into turn number 3. Chuck McClure out there with the race lead. Larry Borga, Rick Moon, nothing has changed amongst the ranks of the top 3. John Forgione, Brian Hogue, Donnie Garrett, Brian Schilling. They're there in that 2-wide battle, racing for that 5th position on back. All chasing the 17 of Chuck McClure. Todd looking through this first wave of cars, this top 26. I see nobody coming to pit road in this group. We'll have to keep an eye on that second group. All the way back in the 27th position, we find the likes of JT Mayhew, Fred Morrell. They're 22 seconds in the rear, the last 2 cars on the racetrack. I believe both of them guys may have come to pit road under that yellow flag condition, so I'll have to keep an eye on that. But I'm hearing chatter from pit road that we may see guys in. Now we have contact on the back straightaway. Contact, the big one, here in the back straightaway. I think it was a 95 machine of John Forgione I seen going around. I know all these guys are very, very close on fuel, that being Chuck McClure, Larry Borger. I saw John Forgione's pit lines go up as well, so it could be a developing situation here, Todd, as the yellow flag is out, and I'm going to have to turn our attention to pit road. Do any of these guys are going to stay out? Looks like they're all going to, as they're going to pick up the caution flag here on lap number 21.
Yeah, they're going to have to be close on fuel, and they're going to have to save it as Larry Borger. And that number 73 machine is now actually conserving fuel. You can hear him clutching it in the 73 machine, so hopefully he can make it back around. A lot of these drivers real close on fuel, Phil.
Oh, it's going to be real, real close. You're hearing clutching up and down this lineup here, all chasing our race leader Chuck McClure under the second yellow flag of the night. A multiple car incident. I'm not sure who initiated the first contact, but I believe it was a John Forgione machine that we see turned in the middle of the pack there off of that low line. That should make for a spectacular look there with DRTV replay. I know Rich is hard at work down there getting that ready to all queued up for you. A spectacular affair, unfortunately, for our friend John Forgione. Looks like, Todd, he's going to come out on the wrong end of this thing.
Yeah, tough break for John Forgione in that number 95 machine. He was having a pretty solid run in that number 95 right up towards the front here for most of this portion of this race, and now we're going to have to see how much damage he did acquire there. Looked like there's quite a few cars involved there. I can't wait to see what Rich has involved on the replay. Pit road's about ready to become a busy place here, Phil. A lot of cars taking that option to come down pit road, and most of them almost out of fuel.
Oh, they're going to be very, very close on fuel. I'm standing down here toward the far end of pit road here, down where the leader is going to pit. I'm in the 73 camp of Larry Borger. He was there running in that second position there, that beautifully repaired black and orange number 73 machine. Have to see what the strategy plays for these guys are. These guys are at the very, very tail end of their fuel window, so you know it's going to be 2 cans of fuel. But now the thing is, are these guys going to take tires? Now, Todd's mentioned this track is gripped up a little bit tonight, so tire wear may not be much of a factor, but it's right side tires up in the Larry Borger machine. Right side tires in the air, right sides down. We'll see if they swing over to the left sides and make it a 4-tire pit stop. There go the left side, so it's a 4-tire pit stop of the 73. He's down and away. Todd, down to you.
Yeah, I was down in the leader's pit, the number 17, the Chuck McClure. Right side tires was the call for him, and a full tank of fuel. Lengthy pit stop for that fuel. I think I would have took the left side tires on that number 17 machine, but right sides only for the 17 and Chuck McClure.
So we're working lap number 22, the second yellow flag of the night here tonight in the Helloween 500. I believe Rich is ready down there with the DRTV replay. So, Rich, show us what happened.
Yeah, guys, you know how it is online racing. Sometimes it looks like somebody might glitch or might not. We're going to keep our eyes on Forgione and also Rick Moon. Predominantly going to keep the camera on the 07 of Rick Moon as we play this out. Rick Moon is right in the middle there. You're going to see him disappear as I go slow motion right there. He disappears right in front of Forgione. Forgione's running right behind him. Rick Moon comes back onto the track, and it looks like Forgione might have been into him already. That's going to send Rick Moon sideways right into the middle of the pack. We're going to go ahead and let this run out in slow motion. As you can see, Rick Moon's probably going to get the worst of that. We can see, looks like the 13 and the 83 is also spun. They're facing the wrong direction. Meanwhile, the rest of the field's able to get away from the rest of this stuff going on back there. But it looked like a glitch may have caused this initial incident, guys. Back up to you.
All right, so that's the story there of the DRTV replay, Todd. Maybe a little bit of glitching there between the 95 of our friend John Forgione and Rick Moon. And unfortunately, there, when you're out here in the online racing, you know, one of those things can happen. Unfortunately, it may tear your car up and hopefully not, and, you know, ruin your night any at all. We'll have to keep an eye on the 95 of John Forgione and the 07 of Rick Moon. Looks like their cars are all clean, but we'll just have to keep an eye on that.
I'm down here on pit road waiting for John Forgione in that number 95 machine coming to the service of his pit crew, Phil. So we're going to have to see what kind of damage he has on that number 95 machine, how lengthy this pit stop's going to be. It is moderate damage. He overshoots his pits in that number 95 machine. Luckily, we are under yellow flag here, so it's not going to cost him that much. He has to get that damage repaired, to believe, on that number 95 machine, if there is any. He did get right side tires, left side tires going on the number 95 of John Forgione. And it looks like the 95 did not have very much damage, if any at all, Phil. So lucky break for John Forgione.
Lucky break indeed. A little tongue-tied here. I guess the Halloween candy's gotten in my tongue. But yeah, it looks like John Forgione's going to come away clean, you know, okay from that contact there on the racetrack. And we'll have to keep an eye on the 95. Maybe we'll see here under this yellow flag here, the second of the night. We maybe can't get away with John. Going to see if we can't get the John Forgione machine out on the radio. I'm having some issues on my end, Todd, so you can carry. I guess having a little bit of issues here on my end trying to get to John Forgione, so see if we can't get him squared away up here in the booth. We're working lap number 23 of the 141 that make up this Helloween 500. There we go. I think we do have John on the radio. John, Phil LaCasse on DRTV. Do you have a copy? John Forgione, Phil LaCasse of DRTV. Do you have a copy, my friend?
Yeah, I got a copy. How are you guys?
We're doing good. John, we having a great run out there. up among the ranks of the top 5. Looks like you're just trying to ride around the line and make some laps, and not sure what happened out there. Contact, it looks like, between you and the Rick Moon machine. I'm not sure if you saw a glitch on your end. I think we may have seen a little bit of corner warp there, some kind of server warp that initiated the contact, but is that 95 car okay?
Yeah, it seems to be okay. Yeah, it was nothing that I did. It just a little electrical problem, I guess, and here we go. Back to the cul-de-sac.
Well, that's one way to put it, John. Well, now you say you've obviously had to come to pit road. You guys are right on the periphery there of that fuel window. Those guys were clutching there under the yellow flag. You're going to have to come from deep in the field now, back around that 21st position. Now, what's going to be that strategy play for you from there? Are you going to ride around back there in traffic, or are you going to try to get that thing back up to the front of the field?
Well, I want to see how this thing is going to operate right now. I don't know. I didn't see what happened. The screen just went. It was gone. It wasn't even there. And then it came back. I was like, what the heck? Anyway, so we're going to see what's going to happen here, and hopefully there's no more disasters, I feel bad that happened, but what are we going to do?
Yeah, I don't think it was anything you could do, John. It looked like it may have been just, I'm not sure if on your end, it looks like the Rick Moon machine may have just experienced some kind of electrical hiccup. As you said, it looked like just for a split second on all 3 of our ends, looked like he may have disappeared just a little bit, and that was the initiation of the contact. But John, we'll wish you well here the rest of the night. Going to restart deep in the field, and good luck with number 95. Bring that thing back to the front, buddy.
All right. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, that's John Forgione. Todd, that number 95 was having a great run. We'll have to keep an eye on that thing. We'll see if maybe, there's no damage there. It's tough to tell at one of these big places like a Talladega. You got to keep the aerodynamics clean on these things, and we'll have to keep an eye on John at 95 as the DRTV pace fan lights are extinguished, and we're about to turn this thing back under green flag conditions. Same song and dance up front, Todd. Chuck McClure, Larry Borger right there. That top 2, Rick Moon now sitting in that 3rd spot. New names up to the top 5, Josh Metallic and Mark Paglia right there in 4th and 5th. So same old song and dance, Todd, amongst that front row. The DRTV pace fan's going to make that hard left-hand turn and onto pit road.
Yeah, it's making its way down onto pit road right now, going past the white line there, get ready to get the green flag. Chuck McClure, Larry Bolger, in that number 73 machine, Rick Moon, Josh Metallic, Mark Pagula, Jason Wolf, Michael Scott, Pete Sendone, Nosker, and LeDuc. That is your top 10. Getting ready to get the green flag. We're through the trial. Flagger waiting. Green flag is out, and here we go. Loud pedal back down here at the Talladega Super Speedway. Again, Chuck McClure, a little bit of a lackadaisical start in that number 17 machine. Boger gets a little bit more of a run on the top side, but again, bottom groove going to prevail going into the corner. It's the quickest way around a circle, and Chuck McClure now powers to the lead with Rick Moon right there behind him.
Yeah, Rick Moon's going to push that Chuck McClure machine into the race lead. Highling trying to form now. Contact amongst the race leaders. Multiple cars. A big one again, as you would say here on the back straightaway. Contact, it looks like, between the Rick Moon machine and also it might have been the Josh Metallic automobile in that number 39. Many cars tore up on this one, and unfortunately, Todd, for our good friend Rich down there, it looks like he's got some more work to do.
It looked like some issues with the 07 machine. It looked like he's on and off the throttle. Maybe I'm not sure with Rick Moon, because this is the second time that the 07 has been involved in something really spooky here at the Talladega Super Speedway. Talladega for the Halloween spectacular here, and really spooky chain of events here for that 07 machine.
It almost looked like, Rich just said in my ear, I was thinking the same, it almost looked like the 07 may have missed a shift there, Todd. I'm not sure if you're seeing the same thing that I am, but looks like that nose just dipped down, and just stayed stuck in the ground a little longer than everybody else. But let's see if maybe that picture will tell that story as well. I believe Rich is ready with the replay, so Rich, down to you.
Yeah, guys, I was playing this back and forth a little bit trying to see what was going on. Now, Rick Moon's running in that orange and black car right behind McClure on the bottom row, getting ready to go, 07. And right about there, it looks like something gave in his car and just forced him to make a right-hand turn. That's going to put him right up into the 73. Of course, we've got other cars, the 39, the 96, all involved. A big mess. Let's see if we can't back this up just a little bit. That's a little bit too far back for you guys. But we'll let this run out. There's quite a few cars damaged out of this one here. As you can see, there's still cars bouncing off the wall back here. A lot of smoke, a lot of cars facing the wrong direction. Not sure if we had a mechanical failure on the 07 or what, but it looks like either he missed a gear, downshifted, or something. The nose seemed to take a nosedive and immediately do a right turn on the track, and that put him right up in the field, guys, right in front of everybody. Made a big old mess down there.
Well, it sure did make a mess from there, and but there may be some clarity as to what happened right there. And Todd, I believe you got some chatter there on the radio of what may have just happened that might have instigated that contact.
Oh, I even went back to the replay just to see what happened, but the 17 of Chuck McClure has broken fourth gear, and you could even hear it when he shifted from third to fourth. There was no fourth. You just heard RPMs in that 17 machine, so I believe he's only got third gear left in that number 17 machine. And that's what bottlenecked the 07 up down there on the bottom side, because you could see the 17, you heard it. As soon as you switched to fourth, RPMs, straight RPMs, no go-go juice.
No go-go juice? Well, that's a new one, Todd. Let's put that one to the arsenal. I like that one. Unfortunately, it looks like for our friend Chuck McClure, he was the pole sitter. He was our early race leader, and as Todd said, no fourth gear. Todd, how long do you think that car can survive there running third gear out here?
I don't think very long. The 17 machine, he's probably going to try to maneuver around for a little bit, but you're going to be running a lot of R's in third gear. He was running a lot of R's at the time when he was shifting from third to fourth, so I couldn't imagine maybe 15 to 20 laps if he's going to stay out there and just ride around in that 17 machine. But again, tough break for Chuck McClure, and it's going to be a long road if he's going to stay out there in that third gear. You're going to hear the R's, and that's all you're going to hear when you wake up in the morning too, is RPMs all through your head.
I agree. It's going to be a long night there for Chuck McClure. We'll see if that thing can ride around here. We have a long way to go here under the green flag condition here. Under the yellow flag, the third time tonight here. We're still early on in this event, the Helloween 500 from Talladega, visiting our good friends over here at East Coast Thunder Sim Racing tonight. We're working lap number 27 of 141, so we still have a lot of racing here left to do here at Talladega. Race has been slowed by those three caution flags, as we've just alluded to. Few cars out of this race behind the wall. David Lawson, he expired an engine. He's going to finish up 29th tonight. Also looks like there might have been some mechanical hiccups for the 336 of Brian Hogue. He's currently scored in 20th position, back there 3 laps in the rears, and only other car off the lead lap is the 27, or in the 27th position is the number 1 of Pete Sindone. Pete currently scored in that 27th position. 1 lap in the rears, but Todd, I'm gonna throw it down to you. A developing situation. You're in that Chuck McClure pit.
Yeah, Chuck McClure has pulled his number 17 machine down into the pits. Looks like they're jacking up the number 17 of Chuck McClure. I'm not sure if the crew chief's going to send him back out there on the speedway. We're going to have to see. Looks like they're jacking up, and he's getting tires on right sides and left sides. Chuck McClure, the crew chief sending him back out with only third gear, so it's going to be tough for Chuck McClure. It's going to be a long road for that number 17 machine.
Well, it really is. We've already said it's a really tough break for Chuck. He was definitely fast. He's an ace when it comes to these big tracks like a Talladega and Daytona, if you will. He knows how to get the job done. Always qualifies up near the front. Always runs up near the front of the field. But we'll have to keep an eye on that number 17 machine. He's going to restart deep in the field. Looks like around that 21st position. The lights are still on, the DRTV pace fan. Not sure, as Todd said, how long that car is going to be able to parade out here in third gear. He's going to turn a high level of RPMs. These things are tacking out at somewhere right around 8,000 RPMs. So we'll turn our attention here back to the field into turn number 3. A new race leader for the first time tonight is that 46 of Mike Scott. We're going to make him the feature of our next DRTV driver spotlight. Rich?
Yeah, most definitely, guys. The number 46 of Mike Scott, come out of Huntsville, Alabama, started tonight in 13th place. Highest is first. He's currently your points lead or your race leader. His lowest was 27th tonight, so he knows how to be up front and run with the big dogs. So going to be interesting to see how long he can hang on to this lead, guys. Back up to you.
All right, we'll have to keep an eye on that. I think Mike has finished off his pit work here on this green flag condition. He's rolling around there behind the DRTV pace fan off of turn number 4. The lights are still on. We'll have to look to see if they extinguish this time around. So let's see as we approach this 30-lap marker here, the Helloween 500. We'll see if we can't give you a quick full field rundown. Mike Scott is your race leader, followed by Jason Wolf, Tim Knopsker, Donnie Garrett, Todd Taylor. That is your top 5. Bobby Ambrosio 6th. Brian Bell is 7th. Mark Paglia is 8th. Chris Taylor is 9th. Jerry Walters there in the 014 currently in that 10th spot. Ricky LeDuc's 11th. Greg Trogdon is 12th. Larry Borger's 13th. Bruce Phelan 14th. Danny Savy, that rocket man, right back there in that 15th position in the number 21. The slingshot Gary Mingus 16th. Brian Bell 17th. Robbie Nice is 18th. Brian Schilling 19th. Fred Morrell 20th. John Forgione, Rick Moon, JT Mayhew, TJ Hagler, Chuck McClure, Josh Metallic. Those round out the cars on the lead lap there back in 26th. Pete Sindone 27th, 1 lap down. Brian Hogue to 336. Looks like he's behind the wall. He's currently scored 5 laps down in that 28th position. And 1 car out of the race is the David Lawson machine. He expired an engine there on lap number 1 that brought the first yellow out tonight. So that is your full field rundown brought to you by the folks at DRL Racing. Find us, DRLRacing.com is the home of DRTV. Todd, the lights are out on that DRTV pace fan. The field is in turn number 1. And we have a lot of new players at the front of the field, that being Mike Scott and Jason Wolf there in the 69 on the outside.
Yeah, a lot of different players that Rec took out. A lot of different people as we're entering turn number 3, getting ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. You have Mike Scott, Jason Wolf, Tim Nosker, Donnie Garrett, and Todd Taylor, your top 5. Donnie Garrett right now sitting in that 4th spot in that number 75 machine. Interesting note on the 75, that's not his car here this evening. He's driving it for somebody else. Was not sure whose car it was. I know there's a gentleman out there that could not make it. So Donnie Garrett piloting the 75 here this evening. He did not have time to make his own car paint scheme up, but the guy offered up his number 75 machine for Donnie Garrett because he could not make it here this evening. So the Nature Boy in an unfamiliar ride, but doing very well in that number 75 machine, running in the 4th spot. We're getting ready to go back to Green Flag Racing, down through the tri-oval as the pace van made its hard left-hand turn down to pit road. We're getting ready to go back to Green Flag Racing once again. Flagger waiting, stalling on that green flag. Green flag's in the air once again. Mike Scott out to a pretty good start there. Looks like he might have missed a shift there just a little bit as Jason Wolf in that 69 machine powers on the high side, but here comes Michael Scott back down to the bottom side. Again, the story, the bottom side of the speedway, Phil, is the fastest way around right now.
But I think the most breathtaking move there was the move by the Nature Boy, Donnie Garrett. He started in that 4th position, the 2nd car up in that high lane. He slammed the door shut on Tim Nosker there as they got to turn number 1. Donnie found his way to the low side. Now he's that 2nd car in line, pushing that Mike Scott machine into turn number 3. Tim Nosker right there in that 3rd spot. He's going to fill the inside line. They're going to drop Jason Wolf back. He's going to get drop kicked now, clutching for that 5th position as here comes Bobby Ambrosio in that number 99, racing for that top 5 spot off of turn 4.
Yeah, all kinds of different action through the field. Does not look like the high groove is actually working right now as the 88, one thing, the 088 of Tim Nosker, the 088, he's no stranger to victory lane around the Talladega Super Speedway. He's one of those types of guys that he plays his cards right. You're going to see him up towards the front of the field here at the end of the race. The 088 of Tim Nosker right now running in that 3rd spot, getting one well of a bump from the number 12 of Jim Woodrow in that number 12 machine, as Taylor is now running 5th in the number 83.
Yeah, Taylor right there, the 83. I've not talked about Chris Taylor much tonight. Rolling around there, looks like he's got Todd Taylor. I believe there's some relation there. They're both coming from East Lyme, Connecticut. They're the 83 and that 31 machine, respectively, there in that 5th position. The 83, Chris Taylor looking in that low side, trying to find running room around that Tim Nosker machine down low. That's going to be the single file. It's going to be a double file race for 3rd as they hit turn 1.
A double file race for that 3rd position now the 4th position, excuse me, as now Taylor moves into 4th in a number 83 machine. Looks like the number 12 of Jim Woodrow drop kicked out of line to the top groove, and that's not where Jim Woodrow wants to be in the number 12 machine. Nobody up there helping him, Phil.
No, nobody at all helping him at all. That Jim Woodrow machine in that number 12. We're looking for racing here. The racing up at the front of the field, all on that low side. Mike Scott, Donnie Garrett, Tim Nosker right there, and also the 83 machine of Chris Taylor, who is going to be the subject of our next DRTV Driver Spotlight.
Yeah, most definitely, guys. The number 83 of Chris Taylor out of the ECT house, coming from East Lyme, Connecticut, started tonight in 18th. Highest is 4th. He must have just crossed 4th this time by. I know last time by he was in 5th, so he is definitely on the move, guys. Back up to you.
All right, so Chris indeed on the move in that number 83, but as we've seen here throughout these first 30 laps, Todd, the action seems to be all on that low line. The race leaders getting off of these turns number 2 and 4, and they're hugging them cars down to that low side of the speedway. Makes it very hard for these guys like Donnie Garrett, the Tim Knopfs of the world, you know, those accomplished super speedway guys, all chasing the 46 of Mike Scott. But if you're guys like Donnie, if you're Tim, if you're Chris Taylor, Mark Paglietta running 5th, is there anything you can do to try to get that second line in? Because it looks like you're going to need a lot of help.
Yeah, you're going to need a lot of help on the top side. Jim Woodrow trying to work over the top side. A couple guys now starting to pull out of line. It looks to be, I believe that's the number 69 of Jason Wolf trying to move up to the top side. It is indeed Jason Wolf. Some of these cars a little bit identical out there on the speedway, but the 69 of Jason Wolf. Now here comes Jim Woodrow in the number 12. He's going to make it 3 wide with the 31 of Todd Taylor. So 3 wide as Jason Wolf was stuck in the sucker hole. Here comes Brian Bell up through the middle to help out Jason Wolf. 3 wide battle, Phil.
3 wide. Bobby Ambrosio was trying to push that Jim Woodrow machine up clear to that Jason Wolf car into turn number 3. Could not do any better of that. They're going to have to fall back in 2 wide formation. Jason Wolf riding there under assault in that 7th position, as Todd would call it, in that sucker hole. Still far. Great driving by all these guys. All got it pointed in the right direction. No contact made throughout the field as Brian Bell at 25 now. He's been able to get that thing right behind that Jason Wolf machine, trying to make that second line work, Todd. They got charged up to that 5th spot off of turn 2.
You got Jason Wolf, Brian Bell, TJ Hagler. These guys charging on the top side of the speedway as now Jason Wolf now moving up to battle for 3rd. And now he's right there side by side with Tim Nosker. Looks like the top side is starting to make some headway, Phil.
They're starting to get there as Jason Wolf trying to make that charge on that Tim Nosker machine. That is the race for 3rd as they exit turn number 4 and down through the triangle. Side by side for 3rd. Tim's down low. Jason right there. Brian Bell all over the back bumper of that 69. Just trying to shove him past that Nosker machine. Looks like he'll maybe clear him there. Now they'll turn their attention to Donnie Garrett, the 75, as they hit turn 1.
Is Donnie Garrett going to stay in line on the bottom side, or you think you're going to see him jump up to the top? Because Donnie Garrett likes to lead the lap just like anybody else, especially on DRTV. But right now, the 2nd, 3rd, 4th place cars have only pitted once, as I'm hearing in my ear. So some of these guys are going to have to pit a little bit different strategies up here. So we're going to have to see what's going to unfold up towards the front. But right now, Jason Wolf trying to make some headway. Looks like it's stalling just a little bit as he was up side by side with Donnie Garrett. Now he's fallen subject to the 088 of Tim Nosker.
Now, Todd, I want you to touch on something. I know you're an accomplished super speedway guy as well. If you're that 3rd car in that low lane, if you're Tim Nosker, and as you know, in these settings here, running the CTS physics here tonight in this beautifully repaired mod they get out here, you're that 3rd car in line. How nerve-wracking is it there behind the wheel of that 088 as you just get that awesome run, and how much you got to check out of it there to maybe not make contact with that 75 car?
You got to check out of it a ton, and that's why I prefer the high side if I'm going to make a pass. But now we're going to have a battle for the lead now, Phil, as it looks like the 69 of Jason Wolf now pulled alongside of Michael Scott in that number 46 machine. They're side by side. The high side now starting to work really well, Phil.
High side looks to be on the assault as they exit off of turn number 4. It's Jason Wolf there on the 69. They are 6 rows deep, 2 wide. That being Mike Scott, Donnie Garrett, Jason Wolf, Tim Nosker, Brian Bell, Chris Taylor, TJ Hagler, amongst many, all racing amongst the groups from the top 12, all 2 wide as they exit turn 2.
Yeah, 2 wide now. Mike Scott has the distinct advantage on the bottom side with that push from the 75, the Nature Boy, Donnie Garrett. But here comes Jason Wolf firing back on the outside of the speedway. Now pulls up alongside of Donnie Garrett. Looks like he's going to try to make another challenge for the lead here, Phil. Going into corner number 3, and it looks like he's going to have to back out of it just a little bit. Mike Scott now gets the distinct advantage with Donnie Garrett right there on his rear bumper.
Now Donnie's been all over that rear bumper of that 46, all over this racetrack, shoving him on that low side of the speedway. We got our eyes on that high side. what can Jason Wolf and Brian Bell do? They've been working in tandem, in perfect lockstep. They have a buddy out there in TJ Hagler in that number 51. One car on the apron there, a little bit out of shape, able to let these guys by. We're all still clean and green. Looks like it was the Mike Scott machine breaking clear of that. Donnie Garrett in the low side. I believe that slow car, no, wasn't Tim Nofsky. He's in that low lane. Not sure if you saw who that was, Todd, but somebody there got out of shape onto the apron that was up near that top 10. All still chasing race leader Mike Scott off of turn 4.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see who was on the bottom side there. And on the apron, it might have been the 088, it might have been on the bottom, maybe we're saying. We're going to have to see what Rich maybe come up and see if that's who was out down on the bottom. Battle now continuing. Looks like Jason Wolf going to lead that time by. Wolf makes the pass on the high side around Mike Scott with Brian Bell right there in that second spot. So now Brian Bell moving around the number 46 of Mike Scott, now the high side, starting to prevail. Jason Wolf now leads him down the back straightaway. A whale of a run off the corner. Mike Scott now battling for third with the number 51 of TJ Hagler. So now the roles are reversed. Now the top side is leading, Phil.
Yeah, top side was able to, they were working it. It's been about a dozen laps. Some guys on the high side, Jason Wolf, Brian Bell, TJ Hagler, right there. That first three cars in that high line. Now able to all make clear of that Mike Scott machine and race now up amongst the ranks of the race leader. Mike Scott, though, is not giving up on that low side. He's been able to reclaim that third position from TJ Hagler right there side by side with that Brian Bell machine, but now all chasing our new race leader, Jason Wolf, as they exit turn 2.
Yeah, you're seeing Mike Scott try to pull up almost next to the 25 and the 51, trying to work the side draft down the back front straightaway. One whale of a boot from the, contact made. I'm not sure what happened there, Phil. I don't know if they kept going. I did not see, but there was contact made there. Nobody wrecked. I think they collected it. So contact made, they collected it. So that's going to change the way of the lane there up front once again, Phil.
All right, well, we were making allusion to a few laps ago. Somebody got a clip of the apron there. That was the 080 of Tim Nofsky. Rich, down to you. I want you to give everybody a quick look at this, and just a big hats off there for Tim to keep that thing under control.
Yeah, most definitely. We're going to stay live down in the bottom right corner of your screen as we go through this. We're kind of back a little bit. Nofsky, as you can see right there, he's entering the corner quite low, much lower than normal. Good thing is that everybody seemed to give everybody a little bit of room. He's able to control that car coming back up on the apron, didn't come back up too high. Everybody up on the top side gave him a little bit of room, and they were able to keep going. So awesome driving by Nofsky.
Yeah, Tim made a whale of a save. Tim now out there riding around in that 10th position there as yellow flags on the speedway for the 4th time tonight. Yellow flag on the speedway. Not sure what may have happened that put us under the yellow flag. Not sure there was contact. I'm trying to find on my screen, but that'll put Rich down back to work there in the DRTV control booth. But under the 4th caution of the night, I think, Todd, we were just within like 3 laps or so of the next round of green flag pit stops as these guys like Jason Wolf and Brian Bell that are running in the high side, they were not conserving any kind of fuel, and I believe we were just a 2 or 3 laps short of the next round of green flag pit stops, but now that's all out the window.
Yeah, that's all out the window. Not sure what happened there this evening or this time to bring out this yellow flag. I think the 33 was slow, but I'm not sure if it was anything to do with the 33 machine. Not sure who or what was involved. Maybe debris got dropped out on the speedway. One of them mysterious debris cautions. Jason Wolf, your current race leader. Brian Bell is running second. 3rd is Mike Scott. 4th is TJ Hagler aboard the 51. Danny Savory in that number 21. He is 5th. Donnie Garrett 6th. Pete Sindone is 7th in that number 1. 428 of Mark Pagula is 8th. JT Mayhew in that number 38 machine. He's running 9th. And Tim Nofsky rounds out your top 10 in the running order. Chris Taylor is 11th. 12th is the number 12 of Jim Woodrow. Todd Taylor is 13th. 14th, the 96 of Ricky LeDuc. Greg Togden in that number 41. He is 15th. 4th. The number 4 of Brian Schilling is 16th. The 014 of Jerry Walters, is 17th. 18th is Bobby Abricio in that number 99 machine. Larry Broger in that number 73 is 19th. 20th is Bruce Phelan. John Forgione in that number 95 machine. He's 21st. Rick Moon is 22nd. 23rd is the 88 of Gary Mingus. 24th is the 54 of Robert Nisus. Fred Morrell in that number 33 machine is 25th. 26 and out of this race, these guys have retired here since we went green flag. Looks like Josh Metallic is retired from the event. He's going to finish up 26. 27th is the number 17 of Chuck McClure. Brian Hogue is out with an accident also in that number 336 machine. David Lawson is your guy that was out early on in the going. That's the number 18 machine. So that's your top 29 running order. 4 cars out, Phil. Now, I've been looking through this replay that I have queued up, and I haven't seen anything. Maybe debris. I'm just not sure why that yellow flag came out.
Yeah, word from race control is debris was the cause for the yellow flag. So, Rich was frantically trying to find what was happening there that put us under yellow. I was at work just trying to click around. There was no smoke anywhere on the racetrack, but it was indeed a debris caution that put us under the yellow flag here for the 4th time tonight. We're working lap number 44. Todd, I'm going to throw it down to you. Not sure if you had one eye onto the pit lane or not, as I was trying to come through the replay and give Rich a hand. So what did you see on your end of pit road?
Seeing some 2-tire pit stops, some fuel. A lot of these guys coming down for fuel. And I didn't see very many 4-tire pit stops. I did see a handful of 4-tire pit stops, but mostly 2-tire pit stops and fuel aboard most of these cars out there on the speedway, Phil.
Yeah, just going back through what I saw on this end of pit road, and I saw a lot of gas and go. Maybe a couple of left side tire pit stops is roaming up and down the works of the pit lane here. So under caution flag number 4 here. Just past that about 45 laps in to that 141 lap main event here tonight, the Helloween 500 for our good friends over at East Coast Thunder Racing. I'd like to thank all of them for having us here tonight. The 13th annual running of the Helloween 500, now under the 4th yellow flag of the night. So for the first time tonight, I want to call out to our YouTube chat box, to all our viewers out there. Give us a shout, tell us what's going on. What are your predictions here? We still have a long way to go, just shy of 100 laps to go here at Talladega. So we've seen a lot of wild and crazy things happen already. And no doubt, I think, Rich, we're going to see a lot more wild and crazy things happen before this night is out.
Oh, yeah, definitely think so. I would just want to give a hats off to everybody coming out here watching the show tonight. Currently have quite a few people watching the event live on YouTube tonight, so welcome aboard. All you guys watching out on YouTube land, remember we are keeping tabs on that chat box. I am monitoring the chat box. I try to answer your guys' questions as we go. I can tell you one thing, Fred Hill from TNT is in the house. I believe I saw 2 slow RTG graphics in the house. Bunch of guys, Randy Snyder, Adam Holm. You guys want to hear that chat box light up. What's going to happen? Who's going to win? When are we going to see the next caution? Let's get a discussion going on in the chat box, and we'll get your information across the air.
All right, so that's our first challenge to the YouTube chat box tonight. Tell us what's going on. Give us a shout. Tell us who you think is going to bring this thing home. We have a long way to go here on DRT from the Talladega Super Speedway. While real quick here, under the yellow flag, we'll see if we can't get away with the driver of the 088, that being Tim Nofsker. He was having a great run up in the top 10. Tim Fillicast of DRTV, do you have a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Tim out there riding around that 088. That's a beautifully prepared machine out there tonight. Out there, that last green flag run before that debris caution, we're in that 3rd spot now. What was it like there, being that 3rd car in the inside line? Looks like you're able to pick up a tremendous run and just having to burp out of it there to not get in the back end of our good friend Donnie Garrett.
Yeah, that was a scary moment. He just basically got clipped, and I don't know if it was a bad bump or whatever, but he got pushed down there. Scared the hell out of him.
Well, we showed it on a replay there as you got just knocked out of line. Able to gather that thing up, that drop kick you back to about that 10th position. But, we're seeing a lot of these guys out here, Tim, and I know you're a big guy in the super speedway community. Are you taken back by the strategy of all these guys just shooting down to that low line and not coming off of there, or are you expecting something like that?
I kind of expected it. There's a lot of strategy that goes into it. I think the safest place is the low line. They got a good run on the high side there on that run. But I think the safe place, at least for the first half of the race, is definitely the low side.
Well, it looks to be the fast way around. So, Tim, I believe you guys are about ready to get back to the green flag racing. So, good luck the rest of the night. I know you get a fast piece, so bring that thing back to the front.
All right, thank you, sir. We'll catch up with you later.
All right, Todd. Tim Nofsker One of the guys, comes to us from the MSR Tally Challenge. We know he's a very, very experienced guy. And I will have to keep an eye on that 088 the rest of the night.
And I'm going to throw it down to Mr. TV Time, Rich Potton, who has a shout from the box before we go back to Green Flag Racing. Rich, what do you have for us?
Yeah, most definitely, guys. Fred Hill out of TNT. He runs some modified stuff over there, and he's got some modified drivers in this race. He's giving a big shout-out to the number 12, the 21, the 99, the 96, and the 31. All mod drivers. He says, let's rock and roll, guys. Get it together.
All right, so round on the yellow flag, trying to take care of some clinical work here, taking a quick drink of water under the yellow flag. But as Rich was saying, Fred Hill watching there in that YouTube chat box. So we're going to make a visit over to Fred's place here in just a couple of weeks. The Hold the Motorsports 300 from the Thompson International Speedway, by far being buried up here in the Northeast, a hotbed, my most favorite race. Unfortunately, the Thompson 300 has gone by the wayside back in the last couple of years. But one of the races here coming up on November the 21st. Cannot wait to get that event from the Thompson Speedway here on November the 21st. And also on November the 14th, we're going to pay a visit over to our friends at SMO for an awesome event there. So can't wait for that. But Todd, we're going to turn our attention back to this group here, the East Coast Underclay, this Helloween 500. We're about to put this thing back under green flag conditions.
Yeah, it's going to be Jason Wolf and Mike Scott up front here. Actually, the 088 of Tim Nosker, too, in that 088 machine. So, going to have to see what happens here. Jason Wolf, Tim Nosker up front here, setting up your front row here to get ready to get the green flag here through the triangle. Get ready to put that loud pedal down. Green flag's in the air. Tim Nosker gets a good start on the top side in that 088 machine. But this is what's happened before. Is Nosker going to be able to clear Jason Wolf coming down into the corner? He's not going to be able to do so, and he's going to be stuck out there. It's like you're throwing an anchor out. You have no help. You're throwing an anchor out, Phil, and it's just going to drag you right towards the back.
I think you're absolutely right. If we try to see that high lane just get riled up again, as you alluded to, it took Jason Wolf and Brian Bell about a dozen laps to make something happen on outside line. As they come down the backstretch, Tim Nosker there in that 088 had the race lead on the restart. Mark Paglia, the 428, he's able to get a great run on the outside. He's the second car on the high lane, trying to push that Nosker machine back to the front. Can't do that. The race leader is Jason Wolf in that number 69 as they exit turn 4. Jason's got Mike Scott in that 46 all over his back bumper. New leader, Todd, Jason Wolf when they hit the start-finish line.
Yeah, Jason Wolf to the point once again in that number 69 machine. He just recaptured the lead here on the outside in that 69 machine, so he knows how difficult it is to get that outside line going. But the 75, the Nature Boy, Donnie Garrett now moving to third. Tim Nosker dropping through the field. He has help from Mark Pagula in that 428 machine, but not able to make that top line work yet, Phil. It takes a long time to get that top line going. And once it gets going, though, it's going to be one of those things that's going to happen. We got 3 wide battle, Phil.
3 wide for about that 7th or 8th position back there around where the likes of Greg Trogdon there and that number 41, Jim Woodrow, trying to get that number 12 working in that high lane. And I believe I just saw Tim Nosker break out of the draft and maybe fall to the wayside there in the 088. Think just maybe getting out of harm's way as it's getting hot and heavy to the front of the field. Tim got it all gathered up on that high side now. About that 6th or 7th position is contact off of turn 2. Contact, I think it was the Rick Moon machine, Todd.
Yeah, Rick Moon made contact, but we're still clean and green. We're no yellow flag. We have a yellow flag for debris, and then somebody contacts the outside wall, and no yellow flag. I'm not sure what's going on here, Phil. I think the NASCAR officials need their eyes checked.
I'm not sure how to follow that one, Todd. Calling out the NASCAR officials over here, but we're still under the green flag conditions. All chasing Jason Wolf on that number 69. All the race leaders now back to that low side of the speedway. Mike Scott there, the 46. Donnie Garrett's found his way back to the 3rd position. One guy, Todd, we haven't talked a lot about tonight is Pete Sindona, that number 1. He's brought that red number 1 machine up to that 4th position. He was trying to peek out, maybe get that 2nd line forming. He's going to pull back to the low side, but we saw Pete here a few months ago when we come to ECT at one of these big restricted plate tracks like a Talladega. He's no stranger to finding the front of the field.
Yeah, Pete Sindona, Lake Grove, New York, excuse me, right down in the city portions of New York. And he's one of those sleepers, Pete Sindone is. He'll be up front there for a little bit, then he'll work his way down on the bottom side, and then all of a sudden you'll see him come back up to the front. Right now he's working over the bottom side, but Pete Sindone, no stranger to being up here in the top 5 and being able to work over that top side. So we're going to have to see what Pete Sindone does right now. I think a lot of these guys just laying in wait until the later portions of this event.
Rich, down to you for an update.
Yeah, most definitely. Sorry about that. Got on the wrong screen there for a minute there. We're going to go back and look at that replay that we thought was going to cause the caution out. Meanwhile, we're going to keep the live camera on the front of the pack down in the bottom right corner. We're going to keep our eyes on the 07. That's going to be Rick Moon. Pretty sure this was a glitch or something. Back up just a second and let this play through. As Rick Moon's running, everything looks fine, and then all of a sudden his car just glitches up. Door slams the 83. 83 is going to bounce off the wall. The 83 and the 07 are able to keep it together. Everybody behind them didn't even check up. I mean, it was like nothing ever happened with them. So smooth sailing for the rest of the field. Tough break for the 83 and the 07 once again. Looks like the 83 is dropping back there, so he might have got some damage out of that one, guys. Back up to you live.
So the field sprinting its way off of turn number 2, working lap number 52 of this Helloween 500. Everybody on the low side of the speedway. I see guys trying to break out Todd and get a second line for him, but so far none of that working.
Well, now finally somebody's trying to break out. It's Todd Taylor. Todd Taylor trying to work his way up. He's in 13th right now, but he's about the only guy that's trying to work up on the top side. Danny Saver has been peeking out here once in a while, but he's not getting no help from the guys around him. Mark Pagula is starting to stick to the bottom side. He was one of the guys that was making that top group work, but Danny Saver is still peeking out of line, trying to get somebody to go with him. I'm sure he's sick of riding around on the bottom side, Phil.
Well, Danny Saver likes to put the pedal to the metal and try to find that thing to the front of the field. He's been ducking on the line a few times, trying to work the side draft. I've seen 2 or 3 instances it's almost gone wrong, as there's been a slight contact between him in the right rear corner of the 88 of Tim Nofsker. Still riding single file. They're racing back there for that 7th position, all chasing the race leader single file into turn 3. Jason Wolf there on the low side, Mike Scott, Donnie Garrett, Pete Sindone, Jim Woodrow, and that number 12 has found his way to the 5th spot. John Forgione's back up the 6th. That's great for John in that 95. See him in an incident here a little while ago. Riding around 7th there is Tim Nofsker, as we said. Danny Savory 8th. Mark Paglia 9th. Larry Borger 10th. His caution flag on the speedway. Caution flag, not sure what happened there, Todd, but I think you saw... I see a lot of smoke out there. Did you see the initial contact, Todd? What put us under the yellow flag, you think?
I seen... It was Danny Savory was up there, and it looked like Todd Taylor was trying to make a pass on the outside. Danny Savory came up, and I think he was going to try to move with the number 31 of Todd Taylor, but Brian Schilling made contact, and after that, I didn't see anything that was going on. It was just, as far as anything that goes on afterwards, I just seen a wreck as far as Todd Taylor, between Todd Taylor and all those guys, and I'm not sure. So it looked like the number 4 of Brian Schilling might have got into the back of that number 31 machine. I'm not sure what happened. That's why we got Mr. TV Time Rich Patton to go back through and review this replay.
Yeah, I saw smoke in that general area, as you said. I just seen smoke, guys, all over the binders, and you know, I think you're going to be for a wild ride here, as Rich will find with DRTV replay. But under yellow flag, unofficially, I think for the 5th time tonight, under the yellow flag, working lap number 54, Jason Wolf with the race lead, Mike Scott, Donnie Garrett, Pete Sindone, Jim Windrow are your top 5. I'm sure pit road is going to be open this time by, and I see guys peeling off the banking. We'll keep our eyes to pit road, but we'll throw it down to Rich in the booth. Rich, show us what happened.
Yeah, guys, we're going to keep our eyes on the number 4 of Schilling as he goes around through this. I believe we were in the trial when this was taking place. It looks like it doesn't make any contact. It looks like it just gets a little bit loose on him. That's going to send him right down across the nose of the 51. Meanwhile, 51 goes down and collects the 428, it looks like. And we have some chaos right here in the trial. Well, let's back this up just a little bit, see if we can't get a better scene on this for our race fans. play this out, keep our eyes off the 4. He's going to bounce off the wall, come back down across. And, guys, you can see there's a lot of cars right there coming across the start-finish line sideways, literally sideways. We've got two-wheelers going sideways across there. Almost took out our DRTV pace van. That's Rick Moon over there trying to take out our van. Hopefully he's not upset because I said the DRTV van might win earlier, but we'll see how that goes. Meanwhile, quite a few cars damaged on the track. A lot of smoke right on the front stretch, guys. Looks like it might have just been a solo spin that kicked it off.
All right, so rolling around under the yellow flag here, the 5th time tonight. The Helloween 500 here at the Talladega Superspeedway. A very spectacular Halloween-looking theme here. The orange walls. You're seeing grave sites here on the infield. Black clouds surrounding the speedway, and it looks like the black cloud has definitely been out here 5 times tonight under the yellow flag here at Talladega, working lap number 55 of 141 main event distance. We're going to reset and retool here real quick, so we're going to take this thing to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back here on DRTV.
NRT Game Servers is your best option for your gaming development need. State-of-the-art technology combined with some of the best voice talent and software out there, NRT gives a quality gaming experience. Dedicated to their craft, NRT provides quality product and services. Contact NRT Game Servers today at 828-212-4040 or at www.nrtservers.com today for a quality gaming experience.
We welcome you back live here at DRTV at Talladega Superspeedway, where we're watching the Helloween 500 coming out of the ECT house, currently under caution still. We've currently got our live camera on the pace van, waiting for these guys to get on their pits completed under the caution. As you saw, we did the caution replay prior to going on our commercial, but once again, big hats off for NRT for being the main sponsor here for DRTV. That is our home away from home. And guys, I don't know. This is a long race. We still got a lot to go, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens here.
Well, yeah, we're just here catching our breath here under this yellow flag, working now lap number 56 here. Long way to go here. Just 85 laps to go, so that's going to make for a long distance here at the Talladega Superspeedway. 25 drivers of the 29 still out on the speedway. 4 cars out of the event. Josh Metallic, Chuck McClure, who was our pole sitter in the early race leader, out of the event. Brian Hogue, he was very fast. He's out of the event. And also David Lawson, the number 18. He was the first one. Expired an engine just on the opening circuit of the race as that car was coming up to speed for the first time. So 25 cars here are on the racetrack, all still on the lead lap. It has not been without incident, as we've said, slowed by that 5 yellow flags, but looks like, Ty, everybody out on the racetrack, I don't see a whole lot of bent sheet metal. Looks like a lot of these guys able to maintain tow with that lead pack. So of these 25 guys out on the speedway still, I think it still could be anybody's race, and we still got a long way to go.
Definitely can be anybody's race. Still got about 85 laps to go, 84 laps to go, or somewhere right around that ballpark. 85 laps to go here, like you said, Phil. It's going to be anybody's ball game. High-speed chess match, Talladega Super Speedway, but we're going to have to see what's happening here and around the speedway. But just take some time out, and I want to ask you guys down in the YouTube chat box who's going to win this race. I know it's early. Who you guys are rooting for? Want to fire up this chat box and make sure you guys are still active here with us under the yellow flag, and maybe we can get some of you guys on the air telling us who your favorites are. I know Fred Hill was out there telling us who your favorites were. Who else has some of these drivers out there that you want to win here this evening?
So we'll put that message out again to the YouTube chat box. Interact with us. Engage with us. We're all watching. I think all 3 of us at one point or another can all peek down to that YouTube chat box and, just interact with all our viewers out there. We'd like to thank everybody with support out there on the YouTube channel and DRTV. And, of course, all our broadcasts available there. Find the DRTV page. Look up Dyno Racing TV. That'll take you right to the page, and also access it right off the front portal of our website. DRLracing.com's also got the portal there for our YouTube stream. All our broadcasts there off archive. This one will be just as well. As soon as this thing gets to the conclusion, it'll be immediately available. Of course, this event and all our events available on DVD, Blu-ray, whatever format you would choose. That's all available through the DRTV page on the DRL Racing website. So head over there, find us there, and we'll continue to give great coverage here. Flag to flag of this Helloween 500. Under the yellow flag, Jason Wolf out there in the race lead with Tim Nofsker, Mike Scott, John Forgione, the Nature Boy Donnie Garrett there in that 5th spot. 6 through 10, Jim Woodrow, Larry Borger, Danny Sabry, Ricky LeDuc, Jerry Walters running 10th. 11th is a slingshot, Gary Mingus. Mark Pagli is 12th. Greg Trogdon in 13th. Todd Taylor 14th. Chris Taylor is 15th. Rick Moon 16th. Pete Sindone, Bobby Ambrosio, Bruce Phelan, JT Mayhew. That's your top 20. The rest of the 25 cars on the racetrack: Robbie Nisus, Fred Morell, Brian Schilling, Brian Bell, and TJ Hagler. Those are the 25 drivers still left out on the speedway. We are working lap number 57. And Todd, I believe the pace fan lights extinguished.
No, pace fan lights are still on atop the pace fan. Glad to have that DRTV pace fan back, as I think somebody ripped it off earlier on this week and took it drifting around a track somewhere, and I'm not sure where that track was, but we seen the DRTV van. They took the graphics off of it and just took off with it, and Rich had to hunt it down, and I don't know what he did with the guy. Is he buried in one of them grave sites, Rich?
He very well could be. I'm not going to admit to none of them.
That DRTV pace fan is very crucial to us to have out there. Every broadcast that we have, you see the DRTV pace fan out there, and it's interesting to see that drifting. If you guys want to see the DRTV pace fan in action, it's actually on my Facebook, Todd Stanton. You can hit me up there. It's drifting around some track unknown, and we weren't sure who the driver was of it, but somebody did take off of that pace fan and take the graphics off, so we didn't know what it was, and we had to hunt it down because we were missing it. And it just, one of them interesting things that happen here at DRTV is that everybody wants our pace fan.
Hey, Todd.
Well, I do got a question, Todd. We have made residency here at the Talladega Super Speedway here for a lot of our most recent broadcasts. So, we've done an awful lot of sleeping there in the infield in that van. Maybe it was time to get that thing aired out. Maybe a little drifting, get that thing clean, some new air fresheners, and maybe we smelled the funk so bad from partying here at Talladega. It may have just peeled them decals right off, and it might have been time just for some new lettering work on there.
Hey, I want to interrupt you guys. It could be, you know what, but I just got to put one thing out on the air to make sure everybody understands this. What happens in the van stays in the van.
Again, tongue-tied here on DRTV. Good news is the DRTV pace fan is out on the speedway, all in operation, and I think it's all full of fresh fuel. I think I seen it down there getting that little hybrid mix of fuel, whatever else is put in that thing to keep that thing running. But the pace fan in turn number 4, we're about to put the Helloween 500 back under the green flag. Working lap number 58 will be 59 when they hit the start-finish line. We'll turn the commands over to Jason Wolf, the number 69. Tim Nofsker there in that number 088, that black and red machine up in the high lane. 2 wide restarts here at East Coast Thunder. The pace van, Todd, is on pit road, and we're about to go back under green flag.
Yeah, about ready to get that loud pedal down once again here at the Talladega Super Speedway. Lexington, South Carolina's Jason Wolf going to lead him down to get the green flag with Tim Nofsker. In that 088 machine, he's going to see if he can get a good start. Last time he had a really good start. This time not so good for the 088 of Tim Nofsker. His green flag is waving. The loud pedal is down. And again, Jason Wolf working on the bottom side. Tim Nofsker up top. Is he going to be able to get some help like he did last time, Phil?
Well, we'll have to look around and see. Is John Forgione there? Was that second car in the high lane? And now here comes Nofsker. He's going to slam that door shut in that low side. He's going to pull in front of the Nature Boy, Donnie Garrett, in that 4th position. That's going to put the race on for 5th between Donnie and John Forgione, the 95. Here he comes up the top side as they hit turn 3.
Yeah, 95 of John Forgione is trying to work over the top side again. No prevail, no help. Looks like the number 12 of Jim Woodrow working over the bottom side. So Forgione now dropping back, dropping like a rock through the rest of the field. Looks like he might get some help in the form of the number 21 of Danny Sabry. Sabry trying to work over the top side. He's finally got a partner up there, Phil, Danny wanted that high side earlier on before this first yellow flag came out, and now he's finally got somebody up there to work with.
Yeah, but he's got guys in the inside line like Ricky Leduc, Larry Borger, all filling that low side. Mark Paglia there in that 428, all trying to just fill those holes on that inside line. That side-by-side racing for about the 8th position, all chasing race leader Jason Wolf now into turn 3. Mike Scott all over the bumper there in the 46. Tim Knopsker there in the 088. Donnie Garrett, Jim Woodrow, Larry Borger, but that race now is for that 7th position between John Forgione and Ricky Leduc off of turn 4.
Yeah, Leduc on the bottom side in that number 96 machine. Forgione on the top side. Does not look like that's going to prevail once again. Forgione coming down on the top side, trying to work it over and just not being able to pull that off. So nobody working the top side. Forgione up there by himself. Maybe has some help from Danny Savory. Savory still working there with him. Mark Paglia down on the bottom side. Looks like these guys on the low line checking up. Looks like we're trying to find out. It looks like the 07 Rick Moon, something going on with that machine. Yellow flag out there on the speedway once again. Yellow fever. Paging Dr. Green. Paging Dr. Green. We need some elixir for this yellow fever, Phil. So hopefully Dr. Green is in the house with us this evening. He might have been one of those guys that can help us get rid of this yellow fever here this evening.
Well, unfortunately, Todd under the yellow flag. I believe this be for the 6th time of the night, and you know, these yellows starting to drag out like waiting around on Walmart on the 1st of the month like we did today. Both of us standing around in line. I think we were communicating back and forth for well over 60 minutes, but we're putting this thing back under the yellow flag condition. Mike Scott, Jason Wolf, rather, your race lead, followed by Mike Scott, Tim Knopsker, Donnie Garrett, Jim Woodrow. They made up your top 5. Larry Borger's got the 73 running right in that 6th position. 7th is Ricky Leduc. John Forgione is 8th. Danny Savory 9th. Mark Paglia is in that 10th spot. No, we saw some issues out there with the 07 Rick Moon, but this hearing chatter, he may have not been the cause or even involved in this yellow flag, so Rich will have to show us exactly what happened here. Under the yellow flag, looks like Rick may have had some connection issues, and I don't know if it happened around him or not, but I did see him flickering in and out. So as Rick has had looks like electrical issues all night long in the 07. Looks like he's had to fall by the wayside now, and he may be done for the evening. We'll have to monitor that situation now as he's pulled behind the wall. Rick Moon, the 07 out there running in that 25th spot. But just my initial thoughts here, just looking back and finding the initial contact, it almost looks like, and I think Rich can give you a better look at this when he's got the replay all queued up, looks like maybe a case, Todd, of a bump draft gone wrong.
Yeah, when you're working, even if you're working on the bottom side, I was just trying to start to mention they're working, all these guys are working on the bottom side of the speedway. You're seeing these guys check up a great deal, and then you got to make sure you're right there, and you only have seconds to think to make sure you check up and not run over the guy in front of you. So if you're working on the bottom side of the speedway and it's all the cars in a line, you're going to have a lot of different checkups because you're going to get a whale of a run on the bottom side of the speedway behind the guy. So it might have been a bump draft gone wrong, but Mr. TV Time Rich Patton has it queued up and ready, and he can explain it a little bit more.
Yeah, most definitely, guys. We're going to keep our eyes on the 99. Don't want to mess his name up. Ambrosio. Hopefully I'm saying that right, guys. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But we're going to play this out and keep our eyes on the 99 itself. Now, watch what happens here. We can see one car going down low on the apron. Another car is coming up as they're coming into the corner. That's going to cause everybody to check up just a little bit. The 83 is going to check up. The 1 is going to bump him right there in the corner. You can see as they just bump a little bit. That's going to send the 83 loose down onto the apron, but that's not what causes everything else. That's going to cause check up behind him. The number 99 gets also bumped from the rear end. As we play this forward a little bit more, he's going to go right back up across the field. He's going to bump into, it looks like, the 33 up against the wall. Meanwhile, when I mentioned Rick Moon earlier, Rick Moon checked up. That's going to also give him a solo spin down on the bottom. It looks like everybody's able to get around Rick Moon, so possibly the 33 might have got some of that in the wall. It doesn't look like too many people got too much damage. Rick Moon's probably going to have to replace most of them tires from stopping. But back up to you guys, it looks like it's just a bump draft and checkup going wrong in the corner.
All right, well, that's what it appeared to me as well, and Rich able to verify that, putting us under the yellow flag for the 6th time tonight here. The Helloween 500 under the yellow flag conditions. seeing a lot of guys on off the pit road. Let's see if we can't get a word with one of the main guys here in charge at ECT, that being the number 46 of Mike Scott, who has run a lot of this race up near the front of the field. Mike, Felicast and DRTV, do you have a copy?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got you.
Mike, having a great run out there in that beautifully repaired number 46 machine. What's it been like out there for you so far?
It's been rough. We got some guys that are not being patient, and that's why we got so many cautions. They're just not being patient, and we've got a long race. Yeah, man. I got the Hillbilly Racing Hammer Toyota running good, and it just a matter of getting back up there. I just got a speeding penalty, so that ain't no biggie. I got plenty of laps to get back there.
You still got a lot of time, my friend, to get back to the front here. Just under 80 laps to go. We still have a lot of racing left to get to. But, Mike, we've seen you near the front all night long on that number 46. Now, Todd and I have been alluding to it. We've seen a lot of action on the low side of the speedway. Looks like you need a lot of friends to get it passed on up in the high lane. Now, what's the strategy like for all you guys out there, just able to bring that thing down and keeping that thing hugged down to that low side of the speedway?
Well, yes, it is, and also the drafting deal. You got to be the guys on the bottom down there, and the guys I've been working with. We've been keeping it really, really tight, and I noticed the guys on top, they're not keeping tight. They're not keeping nose to tail, so therefore they're not going to gain anything. They're going to fall back.
So, Mike, you're going to restart here. You said you got a speeding penalty on this round of pit stops. Going to restart from deep in the field. What's your strategy going to be for that 46? You going to try to bring that thing back to the front of the field, or you going to ride and make laps and keep that thing out of trouble?
I got to be a little patient. We still got 77 to go, 76 to go to the line. I still got some racing to do. I just got to be patient and not be over aggressive. And I'll find the right partner, and I'll get up there.
All right. Well, Mike, on behalf of all of us here at DRTV, thanks for all the hard work you guys did for us to get us over here tonight to the East Coast Underclan. We always look forward to coming over, and it's great to be a part of this 13th Annual Helloween 500. So we'll let you get back to concentrating there and do what you got to do for these preparations here on the restart. But good luck to you, and again, thanks again, and let's see that 46 come forward, my friend.
Okay, dokie, man, and I want to thank you guys for helping us out here with our T-Speak. It's been a pleasure to work with all you guys, and we'll see you guys, and I'll see you in Victory Lane.
All right, well, that's our prediction. Mike Scott, the 46, Todd, he says we're going to see you in Victory Lane, so keep an eye on Mike. He's going to restart deep in the field there after that pit road speeding penalty.
Yeah, deep in the field, but Mike Scott will make his way up through. He'll pick the right partner, and you'll see Mike Scott back up through the top portion of this track. His lights are out up top the DRTV pace van once again. It's going to be Jason Wolf and Donnie Garrett to lead him down to get the green flag here. But we're entering corner number 1. You've got Jim Woodrow, John Forgione, Mark Pagula, Robbie Nisus. Robbie Nisus, we haven't talked much about him, Phil. He's running 6th in that number 54 machine. So good run for Robbie Nisus. Larry Boger in that number 73 machine running 7th. Ricky LeDuc running 8th. 9th is Jerry Walters and Greg Togden in that number 41. He rounds out your top 10 right now, Phil. So it's still anybody's ball game. We're still early on in the going like we've been talking about. So we're going to have to see who's going to win this race this evening and see if we have a green flag pit stop here at the Talladega Superspeedway.
Well, we got to get to that next round of green flag pit stop. So the fuel window being that 16 to 19 lap, we got to make it there under the green flag. We've been slowed by 6 of them here now, working lap number 65. 141 laps make up the distance to tonight's Helloween 500. Spectacular Halloween edition here of the Talladega Superspeedway. They call it Hallowdega. These beautiful orange walls, this festive atmosphere of this Halloween color and decoration. The tombstones there, the grave sites down on the infield, it's a spooky, what a cool touch to this speedway. Gives it a new wrinkle. We've seen a lot of crazy things. The first time we see tombstones, we've seen races in the snow. We've seen a lot of adverse things here. This is the first for us here to the DRTV crew, and just a hats off to all of us here tonight at the East Coast Underclan. An awesome event here. 13th Annual Helloween 500. About to go under the green flag conditions. The DRTV pace van making that hard left-hand turn. They're going to put the field back under the controls of Jason Wolf on the inside, and the outside, the Nature Boy, Donnie Garrett.
You're going to have to see what kind of start Nature Boy now. Donnie Garrett up on the top side in that number 75 machine. He hasn't been up in the top 2 yet. So we're going to have to see if Donnie Garrett gets a good start. We're waiting on the green flag from the flagger. Green flag in the air. Good start by both Jason Wolf and Donnie Garrett. Jim Woodrow working on the top side of this, on the bottom side of the speedway. John Forgione in that number 95 trying to work on the top side, but it looks like he has no help. So now Jason Wolf going to pull out to the lead with Donnie Garrett falling back through the field pretty quickly, Phil.
Yeah, real quick as Jim Woodrow made that shot up the low side right behind that Jason Wolf machine. He brought Mark Paglia with him in the 428. John Forgione has found his way now also to the low side. Larry Borg of the 73. Those top 5 have all made their way past that Donnie Garrett machine. Donnie now drop kick back to that 6th position. All single file, Todd, off of turn 4.
Yeah, single file as they're getting ready to come down through the trial with Jason Wolf, Donnie Garrett, Jim Woodrow, John Forgione, and Mark Paglia. That is your top 5 right now in the running order. Single file down through the field. Looks like the guy that's trying to jump out of the line is Robbie Nisus in that number 54 machine trying to work over the number 96 of Ricky LeDuc. LeDuc running on the bottom side, but again, Robbie Nisus has no help on the top side of the speedway, has to fall back in line. And once again, we're on the bottom, feeding off the bottom here, early on in the going here at the Helloween 500.
Now, Todd, I got to ask you a question here. As we're just about to the halfway marker here, 67 laps in of this 141, so we're 5 laps shy of halfway. You're seeing, the flavor of the land tonight, everybody down to that low side of the speedway. Then if you're out there in that DRTV Motorsports number 32, are you going to keep that thing glued to that low side of the speedway, or are you going to try to mix it up there if you're running mid-pack?
Well, right now you're going to have to, you have no choice but to run the bottom because you jump up off the bottom, nobody's going to help you, and that's not where you want to be. I guess if I was going to try to make a move, I would try to make it, Phil, but I'm pretty conservative in trying to run with these guys and trying to stay up towards the front, because if I'm not up towards the top 5 or top 7 even for that matter, I'm going to probably pull out of the line and drop to the back. But right now I'm watching Robbie Nisus trying to make a move once again on Ricky LeDuc, but LeDuc still holding over the bottom side. But here comes the number 014 of Jerry Walters, now going to get by the 54 of Robbie Nisus. So I'm telling you, Phil, Robbie Nisus tried to make a move on the high side, and the 014 of Jerry Walters was working on the bottom. So that's the case of stepping out of line. You're going to lose position. So right now it's just, stay to the bottom and not jump out of line.
Well, you saw that Robbie Nice. You said he's out there on that high side trying to make something happen. But you said you saw Jerry Walters at 14 is filling the gap there, and that low side was able to make the way past Robbie Nice. Now I'm going to ask the same question of Rich. You're seeing everybody down on this low side of the speedway. You're seeing guys like Robbie Nisus, and we've seen earlier on in the go, Jason Wolf, Brian Bell trying to make that move up that high side. If you're back there riding around that 7th or 8th position, if you're Robbie Nisus, you're Todd Taylor back there, are you going to ride around in that low line as everybody else is doing, or are you going to try to mix it up there and try to get a second line working?
Well, you know me, Phil. I mean, I've been racing, doing this for quite a long time with you guys, and I love the big tracks as well, and especially draft racing. And to me, I think the top line's approaching this differently. I think Mike Scott started getting, hitting the nail on the head a little bit earlier when he was talking about them actually being lined up and being tucked up underneath each other. As you can see there live on the screen now, there's quite a bit of gap between some of these cars on the top row. And, that's just not going to work. They need to get bumper to bumper. They need to make sure they hold that bottom row down going in the corner and coming off the corner to try to maximize the momentum that top line can give them. And if that top line lead car is able to control that bottom line, from coming up and down the track, I think we're going to see a lot more even fighting up front. But right now, they're just not staying close together, and they're not utilizing the draft to its maximum capacity, I don't think.
No, I think you're right. And Todd, I don't know if you caught it, but just a lap ago, I saw the 31 machine of Todd Taylor try to make a move up that top side, try to pick up help from Robbie Nisus. They were able to pick up one position. And as we see that, here comes Todd in that 31 trying to round up that high lane. Robbie right there on his tail end. And you see right behind Robbie there is Greg Trogdon there in the number 41, that Ghostbuster machine. That's an awesome looking paint job. You see those three guys trying to get that top lane worked in, but so far, they've been able to pick up one position.
Yeah, and then you see Greg Trogdon jump right down to the bottom side. He left those two guys hanging, and you can't get no momentum on the top side of the speedway when the guy just jumps out of line, and you're watching these guys. You got to keep them down in the corner, and they're not able to do so, as it looks like maybe the 31 is trying to do so, but the rest of these guys not able to do it, and you can't, like Rich was saying, you can't maximize the run if you don't pitch these guys down a little bit and try to use that side draft to your advantage.
Well, you'll have to see if we can get that low lane to form up. You know, they're starting to form. We're seeing Todd Taylor, Robbie Nice start to make some gains there on that high side. They've been able to get their way up now to that 5th position, and they're going to turn the assault there now, it looks like, to the 95 of John Forgione up there in that 4th position. Very close proximity there, trying to keep momentum in that draft. But one of those things, Todd, especially running that high side, you got to use that bump draft. You got to be tucked up on them perfectly. Sometimes in the middle of the corner, that's maybe not the most smartest of ideas, and I think that's the reason why you see this line, you know, get close together and break up, is because you can't keep that momentum on the high side there in the middle of the corner.
Yeah, Jim Woodrow now starting to make some hayway on the top side in that number 12 machine, trying to be able to get these guys to work. But now when I say that, here comes the bottom side firing back once again, Phil. So Jim Woodrow, now we got slow traffic coming up. I'm not sure what car that is. It looks to be the number 1 machine going down the lap. That is Pete Sindone in the number 1. So slow traffic came up pretty quick, and those guys laid waste to him. But again, the high side still not going anywhere. Even Jim Woodrow tried up top, and it's just not. It's going nowhere, Phil. It's just stalling every time they go up there.
So we've just passed the halfway marker and working lap number 73. It'll be 74 this time by 141 laps. The main event distance here tonight for this 13th annual Helloween 500 for our friends at East Coast Thunder tonight. I'd like to thank them for coming over to see if we can't get a quick full field rundown here. Just past the halfway mark, Jason Wolf, the 69. He's led throughout the middle portion of this race. He is the race leader in that 69. Mark Pagley is right there second. John Forgione, Larry Borger, the Nature Boy, Donnie Garrett round out your top 5. Jim Woodrow 6th. Greg Trogdon 7th. Todd Taylor is 8th. Brian Bell 9th. Robbie Nice is 10th. Danny Savory's 11th. Mike Scott 12th. Bobby Ambrosios 13th. TJ Hagler 14th. Tim Knopsker's 15th, 16th through 20th. You find Brian Schilling, JT Mayhew, Ricky LeDuc, Chris Taylor, Jerry Walters, the 14. He's 25th. 26th is Bruce Phelan, the last car on that lead draft, that 21 car pack. The slingshot Gary Mingus is 22nd. He's 24 seconds in the rear. Fred Morrell is 23rd, also on the lead lap. 24th, 2 laps down, is Pete Sindone. Rick Mooney's behind the wall, the 07. He looks like he's going to finish up tonight 25th. 26th out of the event, Josh Metallic. Also out of the event, the pole sitter Chuck McClure. He'll finish up 27th. Brian Hogue's going to finish 28th. He had a good piece tonight out there as well. And the first car out tonight, 29th and final starter tonight, was David Lawson. He expired an engine on lap number 1. That put him out of the event. That is your full field rundown. 29 cars started, 24 cars left on the speedway, and the 23 cars left on the lead lap, all chasing race leader Todd Jason Wolf into turn number 1.
Yeah, they're still trying to chase down Jason Wolf. High side still stalling right around the 75 of Donnie Garrett. The 12 of Jim Woodrow trying to make it work, but they're still working over the bottom side pretty well. Maybe the green flag pit stop will shake it up a little bit. If we get that far to the green flag pit stop, we're going to have to see what kind of action prevails, as we're getting pretty close to that green flag window there for pit stops. But right now the high side trying to step up and trying to go through, but it's still stalling out there, and it looks like just the battle, they're stalling out right around 5th, 6th, and 7th there, Phil. So nothing as far as now it looks like another car there pulls out of line off the bottom side, and I'm trying to keep up with him on the camera here, and it looks to be Greg Togden in that number 41 machine pulls out of line to try to help Jim Woodrow in that number 12 machine, trying to get some momentum more on the top side of the speedway. We know it can be done up there, Phil. We know they can pass up there. We seen it quite a few laps ago, and it's starting to move now, Phil.
Starting to move, trying to penetrate their way up to the ranks of the top 5. It's Donnie Garrett that was running in that 5th position, or 6th position last time, by Greg Trogdon there, the 41, trying to pull that lane up to chase down those top 4. The leader is Jason Wolf. He has a hungry driver right behind him in the 428 of Mark Paglia, who is going to be the subject of our next DRTV driver spotlight.
Yeah, most definitely, guys. We're going to keep our eyes on the 428. That's Mark Paglia. He's coming out of Gainesville, Georgia. Currently started tonight in 11th. Highest has been up front. He has led some laps in this race tonight. Lowest is 23rd. He's currently riding second place in this line, all over the back of the 69, guys. So looking forward to Mark going to move up in the lead when he can. Back up to you.
All right, so still under the green flag conditions now, working lap number 78. We saw the leaders get by a lap traffic there. I believe that looked like it might have been the Fred Morrell car. It might have been the 80 to Gary Mingus. It's tough to tell the number. There was contact between them in the high lane, and Jim Windrow and that number 12 was trying to work over the top side of the speedway. Jim lost a lot of spots at the number 12 now. Looks like he's going to be well outside the top 10. We'll let timing and scoring catch up here and update the standings of that number 12 machine as they put lap number 79 up on the board. He was running 9th, now running 18th is that number 12 machine. So frantic times there for that Jim Windrow machine, Todd, but able to keep that thing in the right direction, and he'll try to soldier on from here.
Yeah, that's half the battle is keeping that car righted and not getting any more damage to the car. And I think Jim got lucky there. No damage to that number 12 machine. It's a two-headed monster. You know, you get lucky, but you lose a bunch of ground to some of these leaders. And he was making a move on the top side, and now once again, no top side up there. Everybody working on the bottom side of the speedway. Looks like we're coming up on lap traffic once again. I believe that might be the one of Pete Sindone. I'm not sure. I'm looking way up in the front. No, it's Gary Mingus. It's 88 of Gary Mingus. Pete Sindone was the last time. Now it's 88 of Gary Mingus. Slingshot going a lap down to your leaders in 22nd position for Gary Mingus. Not a very good night for Gary Mingus. His yellow flag going to fly out there on the speedway once again, Phil.
Yellow flag on the speedway. I'm trying just to browse around and see maybe what may have broke here if something happened to put us under the yellow flag, so we'll have to update that. But for the 7th time tonight now, working lap number 80. Not sure. I believe it may have been the 96 of Ricky LeDuc. Not sure what happened there, but I did see smoke coming near the 96 machine, so we'll have to, I think that's where you may see some of the action take place. Also looked like maybe involved Jerry Walters in that number 014 machine. It looked like there may be some damage in that machine as well. That may have looked like the 014. I think I just seen it pull behind the wall. So under the yellow flag tonight for the 7th time, putting Rich back to work there in the DRTV control booth. 81 laps in, 60 laps to go here. The Helloween 500 for our friends at East Coast Thunder here this evening. The Talladega Super Speedway is the stage. The Hallowdega Super Speedway, as they call it, this beautiful, awesome Halloween decorated track. The orange walls, tube stones, you know, the lines of the speedway, not sure how much they show up, but they glow a neon yellow like it would be Halloween. So just a cool atmosphere tonight here at the Talladega Super Speedway. But as we said, slowed by 7 caution flags now under the yellow flag. I believe these guys, Todd, were just past about at 2/3 the way through a round of green flag run there. So I believe you're going to see pit road open. Everybody should be on the pit lane, and we'll have to see from here because with 60 laps to go, we still got a long way to go. But Rich, I believe you're ready with the replay, so I'm going to throw it down to you.
Yeah, guys, we're going to keep our eyes right here on the 14. That's going to be Jerry Walters. And I don't know how else to say this other than they're playing leapfrog in the wrong direction. So we'll call this a reverse leapfrog. Let's go with that for now. We're going to keep our eyes on the 14. The 99 is going to look like he tries to get around you, but he wasn't clear. He's going to clip his right rear corner. It looks like it's going to send the 14 up into the wall. The 99 is able to get around, and then he comes back down. The 14 bounces off the wall. Door bounces the 96, and then, of course, the 14 goes back up into the wall, let another car go by. So it pays to be right behind the 14, but not behind the 99 in that predicament. So 14 got the worst of that one, it looks like, and he also door slammed the 96 in the middle of all that action. So tough break for the 14 and the 96 guys. Back up to you.
All right, rolling right under the yellow flag here. Seeing cars coming on and off the pit road. So while we have a minute here under yellow flag, as we customarily do, we try to get as many drivers involved as we can. Not many places that you can get in on the action here and talk to these guys as they're under battle. Let's see if we can't catch up with our good friend, Mr. Donnie Garrett, the Nature Boy. Donnie, Phil LaCasse from DRTV. Do you have a copy?
I got you guys. What's going on?
No, we're doing good, my friend. Just watching you guys out here tonight. What an awesome atmosphere. There's this Halloween festive, decorated to the nines here at the Talladega Super Speedway. What a cool atmosphere. What's it been like out there for you behind the wheel of that 75?
Well, I got to thank Randy Chaplin there for letting me pilot this thing tonight, and all the guys over here at ECT for letting me race, and thank Pete, TJ, and all those guys. And it's been wild out here. I tell you, I've been around a lot of it. I've almost been it myself.
Well, Donnie, I know you're a big super speedway guy. You're really, really good at these places. What I got to ask you, and I've asked a few guys this, it seems like the way of the land tonight is everybody is glued on that low side of the speedway. Well, what do you think the story behind it is? Why is everybody just seem to be running on that low side all night?
I think it's the number of laps. You want to put yourself in a nice, comfortable position. I've always been a bottom feeder until the last pit stop, and it's the safe place to be because if there's a wreck, you can go left, and you got plenty of room down there if you're good enough to hold the car down there. And when you're up top, there's nowhere to go. When that wreck happens, you're at the mercy of everybody around you, and so it's just got to be in the right place.
Well, we know you're really, really good on restart, so let's just forward think here a little bit. Say we get a restart here with under 10 laps to go. How deep in the field can you stand to be at the restart to give yourself a shot to get back to the front? Because it looks like you're going to need a lot of help to make that happen.
I got a feeling that's, right now everybody's kind of mad in their P's and Q's, and I think you'll see that third line get a little crazy, and that's where it's going to ramp up. When it starts ramping up at the end, that's when it's going to get wild. That third line will be coming, and that's when you're going to see some excitement.
Well, excitement's the word, and that's why we bring our good friend Donnie Garrett into the conversation. Well, Donnie, it's good to talk to you once again. It's been a little while, but, give us a big collective woo from all of us up here and, go give that thing a good ride. New number for you, so let's see you bring that thing to the front.
You got it, buddy. Woo!
All right, that's our good buddy, the Nature Boy, Donnie Garrett, Todd, out there in the 75 tonight, giving that thing a good ride.
Yeah, that was kind of weak on his part. That was a weak woo. He's supposed to go woo! Something to that effect. That was weak. That's not Donnie Garrett. That's out of character for Donnie Garrett. Come on now.
All right, not sure how to follow that again. As usual, Rich and Todd finding me there speechless here on DRTV under the yellow flag, working the 7th of the evening here. Looks like the lights may be out around this Talladega Super Speedway as the field is in turn number 3. Now the lights are still on, so we have at least one lap or better here under the yellow flag. Just to update there from this most recent yellow flag, the Jerry Walters machine has pulled it out behind the wall, and also mechanical failure for the 33 of Fred Morrell. So those guys respectively going to finish up tonight 23rd and 24th on the grid. 22 drivers still left on the racetrack, 20 of them now on to the lead lap. The last of those being our friend Mike Scott, who was out there in the 46. Mike looks to be still clean out there, Todd, but he's going to restart from deep in that 20th position. Mike said we're going to see him there in victory lane, but he's still got a long way to go. We still got a lot of time to get there.
Yeah, a lot of time to get there. We have a new leader now, I believe. It should be Mark Pagula in the 428. So Mark Pagula is going to have to restart now in that 428. He gets to choose. He's going to be on the bottom side, and it's going to be a different front row, at least for Mark Pagula being on the front row this time. As now you see the 88 of Gary Mingus getting that Lucky Dog award. He's getting his way back onto the lead lap in that 88 machine. So Gary Mingus is going to join the tail end of the lead lap. So going to have now 21 cars on the lead lap, Phil.
So 21 cars on the lead lap, 22 left on the speedway. We've hit start 29 tonight, so we've seen 7 fall by the wayside here. In the middle stage is the Helloween 500. We're our friends at East Coast Thunder. We've been on the air now just about 2 hours here. We still have this under 60 laps remaining here. Working lap number 84, 141 laps here. It makes up this big main event here, the Helloween 500 at the Talladega Super Speedway here in Talladega, Alabama. Mark Paglia for the first time tonight now with the race lead. He's going to start that inside line on the restart. Larry Borger, the 73, he's currently second. John Forgione is going to restart third. The Nature Boy, Donnie Garrett, fourth. And our leader there in that last run, Jason Wolf, he's going to restart fifth. Now, he has not been back in traffic there in a little while, so we'll have to see if Jason Wolf, like he did when he asserted his way to the race lead, he did it with the help of his buddy Brian Bell there on the outside. And what did you know, Todd? You look who's right alongside run number 3. It's Brian Bell. How long do you think it's going to take for them two guys to get in line and start working together?
Won't take them very long getting back to Green Flag Racing, but you're going to see probably the bottom side take over once again on the restart because that's what has happened all evening long. You'll be surprised if somebody can get a better start as Mark Pagula now up on the front row. So we're going to have to see if Larry Borger, the 73 machine is outside. Tongue-tied there once again with his name. Wow. I think we all have a little bit of tongue-tied every now and then. Pace Van now down onto pit road one more time. Here we're getting ready to go back to Green Flag Racing at the Talladega Superspeedway for the Helloween 500 here with the East Coast Thunder Group, and get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. We're through the trioval. We'll get ready to put that loud pedal down as Pagula and the 73 get the green flag. Green flag's in the air. Loud pedal is down once again. Looks like John Forgione in that number 95 got a pretty good start. Donnie Garrett going to fall back into line, and all these guys follow suit. They just all drop right down to the bottom side, Phil, once again.
It looks like that top 5 get a real good restart. One guy who did not get a really good start was Brian Bell with 25. Not sure he missed a shift or just ran out of help out there, but he's now fallen from that 6th spot now all the way back to what looks like maybe 8th and beyond, as Tim Nofsker and Greg Trongton, the 41, have all found their way by dropping Brian Bell now back to that 8th spot, all single file into turn number 3, chasing our new race leader, Mark Paglia, in that number 428. He's got the 73, Larry Borger, all over his back bumper, all single file off of turn 4.
Yeah, single file all through the field here. Looks like somebody's going to jump out of line, but he's going to come right back down into line once again, I believe, once you go into the corner. Nope, here comes TJ Hagler. He's going to jump out of line and join Brian Bell, who jumped out of line initially. So those two now working together once again on the top side, trying to get the top side working. They don't want to run around on the bottom side. Looks like Larry's trying to work underneath the number 428 Mark Pagula up front. He's slicing and dicing his way. It looks like Mark Pagula comes out a smidget too high, but Brian Bell has one well of a run on the top side. Brian Bell in the 25 machine starting to make some headway.
Yeah, he's got help there from TJ Hagler in that number 51. We saw this same song and dance happen about 40 laps ago when those guys were able to push the 69 of Jason Wolf in the high line. Do not see Jason able to swing his way up to the high side and pick up those teammates there of Brian and TJ. Oh, maybe we do. Here he comes, a 69 Jason Wolf. They're going to try to form that 3-car train on that high side, maybe turn that assault back up to the race lead. All still chasing the race leader of Mark Paglia, Todd, off turn 2.
Yeah, Jason Wolf working on the top side of the speedway in that number 69 machine, making some headway down the middle part of the backstretch. Big run for the 69 machine of Jason Wolf and Brian Bell. They're staying in line, tucked right up underneath each other's bumpers, almost kissing them there, coming through the corner, but they back out just a little bit. The 69 of Jason Wolf still trying to make some headway. He's moving up to 4th. They're going to get one whale of a run coming off of 4 and down through the trial. The 69 of Jason Wolf now working over John Forgione in that number 95 machine. I believe he's going to have 3rd at the line. The number 69 of Jason Wolf making headway. Now he sets his sights on the number 73 machine.
Yeah, absolutely. Here comes that 69 of Jason Wolf with Brian Bell. Those guys are so close you can't put Todd Stanton's MasterCard between them. They are tucked up right on the back bumper of each other, exiting turn number 2. Still all chasing Mark Paglia out in the race lead, but now the race for that 2nd spot is heating up. Here comes Jason Wolf in the 69 with Brian Bell in tow. They're going to clear that 73 machine. They're going to get alongside. They maybe turn their attention for the race lead off of turn 4.
Pagula drifts up just a little bit out of the corner. Looks like he's trying to stall the run of the 69 of Jason Wolf. Oh, Pagula up there almost making contact with the 69. Now Brian Bell down on the bottom side. All these guys making evasive maneuvers. Now we're 3 wide for 2nd.
3 wide for 2nd as Brian Bell had to come out of line and get underneath the 69 of Jason Wolf. Larry Borger there on the low side. Jason Wolf getting dropped, kicked out of line. No help 3 wide. He's going to fall all the way out of that lead pack now. He'll drop to the tail end. He may fall all the way to the end of the strap, which is 20 cars strong. Jason Wolf, he was a contender for the race lead, now trying to hold on to a spot in the top 20, Todd, as they hit turn 3.
Yeah, tough break for the 69 of Wolf. He was making some headway. Now the top side starting to stall once again. Now Brian Bell looking at the cars underneath him, and they're just freight training them on the bottom side, coming out the corner and down through the tri-oval. Brian Bell now looks like he's going to fall back to, I'm not sure who he's battling, waiting for scoring and timing, but the 25 of Brian Bell, there's only 4 cars up on the top side. Brian Bell is going to fall back to 8th. He's fighting with, I believe that's the number 12 machine. Nope, 18. Yeah, they're 18th for Jason Wolf in that 69 machine. So you can see what happens when they start mixing it up top, and they went 3 wide after a little bit of a jumble up towards the front after Paglia came up the track, and tough break. Again, Jason Wolf 18th now. He's going to have to fight his way all the way back up through.
Well, we've seen a new name now emerge on the high side, trying to pull that train up there. That's Bobby Ambrosio, the number 99. Have not seen much of Bobby up near the front of the field, but he's got that Chevrolet working in the high side. He's got Tim Knopfsker all in front of him. That's racing to the 6th position. Brian Bell is all over the back of that car. We've seen Brian. He's a real good pusher in that high lane. He's going to try to push that 99 forward, racing for 6, Todd, off of turn 2.
Yeah, Ambrosio working over the top side of the speedway in that number 99 machine, trying to work over. It looks like Jim Woodrow in that number 12 machine. Almost identical cars between those two. Makes me think they're teammates. It looks like Tim Nosker in the 088 machine. Now he works his way up to the top side. That's going to get some more momentum for this top group. As Nosker, nope, Nosker went way high, drifted way high up the speedway. Now Nosker going to fall victim to both grooves. And Nosker going to fall back through the field. Not sure. We're going to have to see where Nosker is going to end up. Looks like he got in front of the number 51 of TJ Hagler. So Nosker made a costly move.
It looks like there's no friends when you get to that extreme high line and make it to that 3rd lane. As we heard Donnie Garrett say a little while ago, he thinks that's going to get wild and crazy in the high line. Well, here with just now under 50 laps to go, we've yet to see that come to fruition. Is anybody getting in that high line? If it was Jason Wolf, a few laps ago, and now Tim Knopfsker in that 3rd lane, you're going to get drop kicked all the way back outside the top 10. They're staying all single file up amongst the race leaders. Mark Paglia, the 428, Larry Borger there 2nd, John Forgione is 3rd, Donnie Garrett's 4th, Greg Trogdon's found his way into the top 5. It looks like it may be about 2 wide, back for about that 6th position, Todd, as they hit turn 4.
Yeah, it looks like the number 83 of Chris Taylor working on the bottom side there. Looks like the top group trying to make way once again. Got Brian Bell, Tim Nosker up there. Got the, I believe that's the 51 machine up there. No, Michael Scott up there also. Mike Scott in the 46 machine. He's no stranger to being up front. He's worked his way up through the field, as he did have a speeding penalty in that 46 machine. But now the top side has the back out of it, and the 69 now joins the fray up on the top side. The 69 machine of Jason Wolf now worked his way back up to the 13th position. So 5 spots fill. Jason Wolf starting to make his way back up towards the front.
Well, Jason Wolf has found his dance partner in Brian Bell. We've seen them a few times tonight. They've got Bobby Ambrosio now, the first car up high. Bobby was scored 8th last time around, trying to battle with the 4 of Brian Schilling. He's going to pull alongside of that blue and white machine, racing for that 7th spot when they hit turn number 1. So we see that high line trying to form again. Brian Bell all over the 99 of Bobby Ambrosio, but looks like the 99, Todd, he's having trouble keeping it this glued down in that 2nd lane. He's up almost in that 3rd groove, and that's just allowing that bottom line to get that good run and just able to get their way by.
Yeah, it's killing their momentum as they're coming off the corner. They are starting to make up some down the back straightaway. It looks like Ambrosio is going to get around Woodrow there momentarily as we go into 3 with Brian Bell tucked right up underneath his rear bumper. But again, fighting back on the bottom side is Jim Woodrow in that number 12 machine. So Woodrow now going to take back over the 6th position. But once I say that again, Ambrosio now working pretty good with Brian Bell. Looks like he's able to squeeze them down on the bottom side. Now Ambrosio going to go after the number 41 of Togden in that 41 machine. So Ambrosio making some moves in that number 99.
Yeah, he's now able to make his way up to near the 4th position alongside that Greg Trogdon machine in that number 41. They were side by side for 5th last time around. Still side by side. Greg's got that low line, all that help and that high speed. Bobby's got that great push, the 25 of Brian Bell, as we've seen on that high side all night long. Now they work their way alongside the fourth place running Donnie Garrett. They're side by side for fourth off turn 4.
Donnie Garrett has the slight advantage, though, coming down 4 down into the trial. Ambrosio trying to work over the top side in that 99 machine. The 25 of Brian Bell sticking right there with him. Ambrosio trying to get up there to the number 75 machine. Green flag pit stop should be approaching here momentarily. It looks like we're going to have, what are we saying, 2 more pit stops here. And hopefully we'll go clean and green the rest of the way here for the Halloween 500 here with the East Coast Thunder Racing Group. We're down the back straightaway once again, Phil.
Down the backstretch once again, low lane still all tucked in their single file, chasing Mark Paglia, Larry Borger all over his rear bumper, and John Forgione. He has not been glued off that 73 at all. The racing side by side has been for fourth. It's between the 75 of Donnie Garrett down low, the 99 Bobby Ambrosio up high. Bobby's got Brian Bell there. Donnie's got assistance from Brian Schilling amongst many others in that low side. Top 18 drivers separated by just over 1.1 seconds last time by. It's anybody's race from here amongst that top 18, but now as we get through, I believe, Todd, we've been under green for about 12 or 14 laps. The next wave will land maybe pit stops. We have to keep our eyes toward pit road. We'll have a DRTV punt cam ready. Once we get these things with the fuel window open, we'll have to turn our eyes over to pit road. But if my quick math is correct, Todd, I believe it's going to be at least 2 more pit stops from here. 2, maybe stretching it, but I believe if I'm a gambler, I believe it's 2 stops will be the money shots to get you here to the finish.
Yeah, I think it's going to be 2 stops indeed to try to get it. And I don't think you're going to see many 4-tire pit stops. You'll see 2-tire pit stops, but I don't think you'll see the 4-tire pit stops down there on pit road. Maybe even some gas and goes. Tire wear is not much of a factor here at the Talladega Super Speedway. Again, up front, Mark Paglia still continues to lead on the bottom side. Ambrosio in that number 99 machine trying to work his way. He's the guy that's out of line with Brian Bell, trying to work side by side with the 41 of Greg Togden in that 41 machine. They're running 6, so the top 5 are single file looking in their mirror, trying to hope that top side don't catch up to them. Maybe you might see one of these guys on the bottom shift up to the top, Phil, here. But I'm not 100% sure. It seems like they've been running the bottom an awful lot, and they've worked together. And a lot of these guys are teammates. Some of these guys we don't know that are teammates together here this evening. So we're going to have to see how this all shakes and plays out up front after the green flag pit stops.
I think we're probably within where, we got to be under a handful of laps. I'm going to guess 3 to 4 laps away from seeing the pit road become a very, very busy place. We're going to keep our attention there to a DRTV punt cam. We're going to pay attention to race chatter here, see if we see anything come across the airwaves that may indicate that any of these drivers up amongst the ranks of the leaders will find their way to pit road, but all chasing the race leader, Mark Paglia, the number 428, into turn number 3. Larry Borger has been right there in tow. John Forgione, Donnie Garrett, he's come under fire for the 4th position, but he's been right there in that low lane. The hot and heavy action has been for that 5th spot between Trogdon there in that number 41 and Bobby Ambrosio, who's been trying to pull that high lane for about a dozen laps or so. Unfortunately, you've seen a lap car go flashing by. The 21 of Danny Sabry with damage has fallen off the lead lap. Danny now out there running in the 21st position. As Todd, this time around, we've completed 100 laps of the Halloween 500. The field is exiting turn 2.
And down in the back straightaway they go once again. Ambrosio trying to work over the top side with Brian Bell, the 69 machine of Jason Wolf. That's the story of the race. Wolf fell back to the 18th position. He is playing the draft to his advantage. He has now worked his way up to the 9th position now, Phil. So the 69 of Wolf is moving up through the field pretty quickly.
Well, we know the 69 has been fast. We've seen him make that run up through the high lane, able to pass about 7 or 8 cars up there. He's been the best challenger amongst that high lane, able to get to the front. He's had a lot of help from the likes of a Brian Bell, of a TJ Hagel of 51, guys who run the outside extremely well, as these guys are trying to do now. And it looks like our friend Bobby Ambrosio, the number 99, he's been able to infiltrate the ranks of that top 4. He was able to stick a fender out past the 75 of Donnie Garrett into turn number 1, but as they wound it up there down the back straightaway, this long super stretch at the Talladega Super Speedway. Donnie able to inch back along, so they're going to maintain that battle for fourth. Brian Bell a little bit out of shape. It looks like it may be just a little bit of a slight bump draft. Had the trail break that thing a little bit. He lost toe with the 99, and that may allow them all back to be single file, Todd, off of turn 4.
Yeah, it looks like they're going single file once again. Brian Bell and Ambrosio now under fire once again. Tim Nosker working on the bottom side. He's behind the number 41 of Greg Cogman. But Phil, I'm telling you, with these green flag pit stops, you have to nail these green flag pit stops. And I know they're coming up real shortly here. You think some of these guys are falling down into line and backing out of that top side so they can get ready for their green flag pit stops?
Oh, absolutely. No doubt in my mind that when you get so close into these runs, I mean, if you're going to try to make that bonsai move off the outside, you need to start peeking at when you can get your back and away in the line. And I think you're going to see pit road open. I hear vying some of the 69, the 428. I believe you're going to see all these guys start getting the pit road. The DRTV punt cam is up on the bottom of your screen, and contact getting on the pit road.
No, it
I believe
wasn't.
the punt cam got a really good look. I see the 99 of Bobby Ambrosio around, amongst others, hard on the brakes on the pit road.
The number 51 of TJ Hagler also was around on pit road. He rated his wrong, and he's back on pit road. Didn't look like tons of damage down there, but these guys did hit each other pretty good. I'm following Hagler down into his pit stall in that number 51 machine. Going to see what happens here as the 51, as I was watching him come down onto pit road. He overshoots his pit stall, so two costly mistakes for the 51 of TJ Hagler. Looks like left side tires are going on that machine now. Are they going to go around to the right side? No right side tires for the 51 of TJ Hagler, but costly mistakes coming into pit road and coming into his pit box, Phil.
It was right side tires for the 428 of Mark Paglia, also two tires for the 73 of Larry Borger. It was a 4-tire pit stop on the 95 of John Forgione. Those guys on and off pit road now exiting onto turn number 2. We're going to turn our attention back to pit road. We're going to be awaiting the race leader, who is Donnie Garrett last time by. I believe he's still out there making laps around the speedway at speed. Donnie now onto pit road. He's in his pit stop. Right side tires in the air. Right side tires on that Chevrolet. Just going to be right side tires. 2 full cans of fuel, 75 revving it up. Donnie Garrett, the nature boy, Todd, down and away.
I was down in the 088 of Tim Nosker's pits. He took left side tires and 2 fuel take of Sunoco Racing Fuel. Tim Nosker down and away, back joining the field now, merging into 1 and 2.
So it looks like that's just about to cycle out through this round of green flag pit stops. All these guys on and off pit road. But Rich, not without incident, as I believe you're going to show us here in a DRTV replay.
Yeah, most definitely, guys. We're going to try to keep the camera live on some of the guys out on the track. But meanwhile, I'm going to back this up just a little bit. You guys all know how this works on super speedways. A lot of cars are getting ready to come down pit road. As they come down, we're going to keep our eyes on the 51 of Hagler. And I believe that might have been the the 99. It looks like the 99 was braking a little bit harder than Hagler. It looks like Hagler bumped him. That's going to spin them around sideways right in front of a couple other cars. Next thing you know, we've got smoke. We've got cars spinning going into the pits. Also, you can see there the 25, Bell, got tapped a little bit going in. And looks like, who is that coming around him? Looks like the 95 is able to try to get around him a little bit, go out on the grass to do so. But quite a few cars spin getting under the pits that time, guys.
Rich, take a drink. I know you're hard at work down there. We've all been tongue-tied. You know, it's trick or treat. The cat is definitely stolen our tongue here on DRTV. We're past the 100-lap mark, working now lap 105 of the 141 that make up the Helloween 500 here live on DRTV. Phil Lacasse, Todd Stanton, and Rich Patton with the call. We're 2+ hours into this main event tonight. Getting down to these later stages, 35 laps to go this time by the new race leader. We've seen him earlier. He said when we talked to him, Todd, a speeding penalty about 100 laps ago for that Mike Scott machine. He's now found his way back to the race lead. The nature boy, Donnie Garrett, was second off of pit road. Mark Paglia got off third. Larry Borger fourth, and Jim Windrow out in the top 5. 6 cars have broken away amongst himself, that being the last of the 6 being John Forgione. They have a 2-second lead now on a second pack being led by Greg Trogdon as they hit turn 3.
The guy who originally came out in the lead was the number 088 of Tim Nosker. Nosker had to serve a drive-through penalty. He was too fast down pit road in the 088 machine. So Tim Nosker now falls wayside, now back in 16th position, 28 seconds back, Phil. So Tim Nosker did come out with a lead, but it was because he was speeding down pit road.
And we said at the Open tonight, one of these green flag pit stops, you got to do it absolutely perfectly. And Tim Nosker, unfortunately, we know he's been quick all night long. And now he may be one of the guys out there just praying maybe for a late race caution to give himself a chance to get back in those things. Tim now riding around there 16th, 32 seconds to the rears of the race leader of a 6-car freight train at the front, being led by the 46 of Mike Scott. Donnie Garrett second, Mark Paglia right there in third. This big train, we've seen 18 at that first round of green flag pit stops right there. It's now been broken down to 6 cars in a lead pack. A second pack is now 4 seconds to the rears. Greg Trogdon, JT Mayhew, Bobby Ambrosio, Ricky LeDuc, and now also I think you said Todd, a third pack has run them downward. I think it was led by the 96 of Ricky LeDuc, if I'm not mistaken.
It was the number 99 of Ambrosio. He was leading that third pack there, Phil, and they made short work of the 3-car pack that was the second pack. They're running down the leaders here pretty quick, and they went up through the middle of that second pack, and now they've all formed to make a huge second pack. So I don't think it will be long, and I think the second pack should be able to catch this first pack because they were about 3.8 seconds last time by behind your leaders, and now this time by waiting for scoring and timing should be a little bit closer. And indeed, no, they're not closer. Actually, they lost some time, 4.566 seconds back. But again, they caught that second pack, and they were fighting side by side, so you're going to lose a little bit of time. But this second pack has formed, and I think they might be able to run down your leaders, Phil.
Well, I think the best guy to ask this question, we're blessed here week after week. We have a super speedway ringer down in the control booth with us here night after night, that being to Rich. And I'm going to ask you, Rich, this first pack there is now 6 cars. That second pack has 9. Now, the rule of thumb, you would think 9 cars will chase down 6. But on a big track like Talladega, where you just hug that inside line, and those guys about 4th, 5th, 6th in line have to check up, not always the case. As you see these 6 cars here up to the front, they're able to just work in perfect lockstep, and they're not losing any time. In fact, they're gaining on that second pack.
Yeah, I think, it really depends on a lot of these guys and how much in line they are. I mean, sometimes, just having a single headlight out of line to where you're trying to get some air in your car is going to drastically slow down your pack at some point. So, I mean, it really, to me, is going to boil down to which of these groups is going to stay as close to perfect in line as they can to again, maximize the draft to the best of their ability. And right now the front line has been doing that. They've been working single file low like this for a little while. Meanwhile, the back line, I don't know that they're following suit as much. They are in line, but there's some quite a bit gaps in between some of the cars. And at the back of this first pack, you can see these guys spread out a little bit towards the back. I don't know. I don't think either pack is really doing 100% advantage on the draft, but the number of cars I think will overwhelm, and I think, as you can see, I think they're going to catch them.
I know we're going to see if math will play a role in here, but that gap has grown from 4.2 to 4.7 seconds there over the last 2+ laps. So working now lap number 111, 30 laps to go. Now, Todd, I am no math genius by no words, but I believe these guys up in the front, they pitted on lap 103, 104, right in that range. So if my math is right, that's about 37 to 38 laps. We've seen the fuel window all night was about that 16 to 19 laps. That's very, very borderline on making it here from one more stop. Do you think these guys can make it on that one more? Do you think there's going to be any kind of fuel conservation amongst them guys out there?
Now, Phil, did you use Common Core to get that answer? Must be using Common Core to try to get that answer. I'm not sure if these guys are going to be able to make it the rest of the way on one more stop. But I think they're going to. I'm going to have to go back to my drawing board here and try to figure it out myself. Common Core takes me a little bit longer, so that's a new thing in math. So I don't know if you've learned that yet. You said you're not a mathematician, so.
Well, I must be learning the ways of Common Core, because just to do a basic addition, multiplication, subtraction problem, it took me about 30 minutes to do all that work for that simple problem there to come up with 38 laps. So the short form method, the way we learned it, it's a whole lot quicker. We can process that information so much faster. So under the green flag conditions, 113 laps under the 141 lap Helloween 500 here from Talladega Super Speedway. Not much drama going on here through this run. Mike Scott has been single file with the race lead. Donnie Garrett is second. Mark Paglia, Larry Borger, Jim Windrow, John Forgione make up that 6-car pack at the front of the field. There's a second pack that is now close to 5 seconds in the rears, being led by the 99 of Bobby Ambrosio, Ricky LeDuc, TJ Hagler, Jason Wolf, Brian Bell, Greg Trogdon, also part of the group, Robbie Nices, JT Mayhew, Brian Schilling, all 15 cars, the rest of the 15 left on the lead lap, all in that second pack. 16 through 20 have all fallen at least one lap down, that being Todd Taylor, Pete Sindone, Tim Nofsker, Chris Taylor, the slingshot Gary Mingus, the last car out on the speedway in that 20th position. Unfortunate for guys like Danny Savory, Bruce Phelan, Fred Morrell, they have all pulled their machines back behind the wall, so we have 20 left of the 29. That started this Helloween 500. It's been hell on wheels for a few of these guys out of the event, but nobody's stopping the 46 of Mike Scott out there parading around through the front of this field. Gonna put 115 laps up on the board this time by. The average speed of the race been slowed 7 times under this caution flag, is now over just close to 100 and just shy of 137, 138. 6.8 miles per hour in the average speed here at the Talladega Super Speedway, working lap number 115. And like we said, Todd, we're using that Common Core math, so even I'm not sure about it, but if my math is correct, next time by it's going to be 25 laps to go.
Yeah, next time by is indeed going to be 25 laps to go. I've been watching these guys in the second group, and they've been jockeying for position, and they're just losing time to that first pack. As we got a different guy out front instead of Ambrosio, we got LeDuc and Hagler. I think that was a move to try to see if they can run them down a little bit quicker. Maybe these guys can stay a little tighter than they can with Ambrosio in that number 99 machine. But these guys not staying in line. Last time by they were 4.8. They were 4.8 seconds back. Now they're 4. They didn't lose as much time that time. They were 4.853, and now they're 4.867. So maybe that little bit of change helped them out. But these guys keep jumping on the line, and they're not going to be able to run down their leaders, and that's going to be costly for these guys.
All right, well, the field into turn number 3. That 6-car pack has broken away. I want to make a next shout-out, my next plea, if you will, to the YouTube chat box. Give us a shout-out. Tell, what do you think of the racing action? What is going on there? This first pack that is close to 5 seconds of the race lead looks to settle amongst themselves. We are racing amongst this second pack. These guys are 2, it looks like 3 wide. I'm not the smartest of guys, as we all know. I think my racing talent, my driving ability is left in one of those grave sites there out in the infield. But I can't imagine if you're trying to make up time in that second pack. I don't think you make up any time there going 2 and 3 wide.
No, indeed you don't, and that's what they were doing there momentarily. I don't know if they were trying to shift to try to see if they could get a different guy out front and see if they could catch down this lead pack. This lead pack is staying pretty close to one another up there. You even got Todd Taylor in there in the mix, and he's a lap down in this first pack. So this first pack has grown just a little bit with some of the lap cars up there with the leaders. So it looks like, Phil, they might. You said we got about 25 laps to go, 23 now here coming at the line, 23 laps to go. I'm thinking they're going to have to make one more green flag pit stop unless they're going to be able to stretch it. Some of these guys might be trying to stretch it, but I think you're going to have to make another pit stop.
I think you're going to need at least one. I think you're going to be stretched from here just to make that one more pit stop. We're going to have to keep our attention to pit road. I think the window may be open. If these guys can stretch for another 4 laps or so, I believe that will be the money lap. I believe if you can pit there in about four laps, maybe 5, Yeah, I think you're going to be clean and green from there. You know, I think the word from Race Chatter is 21 looks to be the absolute maximum number you can do. So looking at it, we got this time by going to put 119 up on the board, so that's 23 laps to go, 22 laps to go. We'll have to see if any of these guys, can make it on that one more pit stop. But I'm no betting man, but Todd, I think we're looking at one more stop from here, and we'll have to keep all the attention on this top six: Mike Scott, Donnie Garrett, Mark Paglia, Larry Borger, Jim Windrow, John Forgione. If this thing stays under green, all eyes are going to be fixated on this top six. Whoever can win that race off of pit road, if this group can stay all together, if they even break up, that could be what makes a difference here for the race win.
Yeah, I think that's going to make the difference for this race win, and it looks like some of these guys, it looks like they're coming down pit road. Indeed, they are coming down pit road. I'm not sure who that was that flashed down on pit road, but just one car came down pit road. It looks like Gary Mingus is coming down pit road early on in the going, maybe just to see what kind of chances he has, because he is one lap down aboard that number 88 machine. So some of these guys are going to have to come to green flag pit stops here very momentarily, Phil. So like we said, about 21 laps probably is a stretch. That might be the max on some of these, and I'm banking to see if we stay green. I'm thinking you're going to see some people run out of fuel.
I think you're exactly right. I've been keeping my eye back now to that second pack. Those guys have been able to take off about 2 or 3 tenths off these last couple of laps. And no surprise, looking at the front of it, Jason Wolf, and who's he got together with? TJ Hagler and Brian Bell. We saw those 3 guys hook up a little while ago, make the outside line work, be able to make moves. Is it too little too late for those guys now? Over 5 seconds of the rear. Those 3 guys may have to nail their pit stop if they have any kind of chance of catching this front 6. Here as we get through toward the end of this Helloween 500. Now at 20 laps to go, Todd, as they exit turn 2.
Yeah, Gary Mingus, they're coming up on lap traffic of Gary Mingus, who just made his green flag pit stop. Looks like race control, the 51 of TJ Hagler, the number 4 of Brian Schilling. They're going to come down pit road. Bine's going up for those guys. So the early pit stops is 69, also coming down pit road. That is Wolf, and 51 just keeps binding up TJ Hagler, making sure nobody's going to run over him coming down on pit road, because last time he got the short end of the stick on the punt cam. So we're getting ready for these guys to come down on pit road. I believe Phil has the number 69 down there on pit road. He's waiting anxiously for them.
Jason Wolf got hot and heavy on the pit road, hard on the brakes to get under, I believe it's 55 miles per hour the pit speed. The 69 making that long trek down to the pit road. Pit sign is down. The 69 making that left-hand turn. He's going to hit the sign absolutely perfectly there on the money. And let's see, will there be any tires or is it all fuel? No tires in the air. Looks like it's going to be a gas and go. Fuel only for the 69 on this end of pit road. He's full of fuel, and the 69 down and away.
I'm down in the number 4 pits of Brian Schilling. He has right side tires going on that number 4 machine and gas. He's getting a full tank of fuel with the number 4 machine. He's down in the way.
51 of TJ Hagler. It was fuel only there as well, as race leaders look to be diving onto the pit lane. That being Mike Scott, the race leader, finding his way. Pit sign down for the 46, 55 miles per hour. The pit speed. Mike makes that left-hand turn and brings that beautifully prepared number 46 to the attention of his crew. He's on the sign. Let's see if we see any tires here. I see left side tires on the 46. It's going to be left side tires for Mike Scott. It's going to be right side tires for Mark Paglia, who is also a part of that lead group. And a different strategy, gas and go for the 95 of John Forgione. Todd, how about your end of pit road?
Donnie Garrett in the number 75 was down on pit road, right side tires and fuel for the 75. He's down and away, but there was a contact made on pit road between that first group, and I'm not sure. I think one of them being the number 95 of Forgione was on pit road, and it's tough to see what happened on pit road. Not sure what caused that there in the punt cam, but that might be the break that second group needed to catch that first group. And some of them guys, the number 12 of Jim Woodrow did spin coming in, is what I'm hearing. So 12 of Jim Woodrow caused the melee on pit road, but we're still green flag racing. We still got 18 laps to go. It looks like Donnie Garrett in the 75 machine might have made off the pit road the fastest.
I think he may have. I was just putting a cap on this round of green flag pit stops. A third wave, the 41 of Greg Trogdon has found his way to pit road. It was right side tires. Right side tires for Chris Taylor in the 83. Left side tires on the Tim Nopska machine. Tim's still out there parading around the 16th position. Now the first car 1 lap down. But Todd, I believe you're right. When this thing cycles out here now with under 20 laps to go, I believe your new race leader may cycle out to be that number 75 of the Nature Boy, Donnie Garrett. He's got clean air out his windshield. Mike Scott right behind him, the 46. Mark Paglia, the 428. Larry Borger, Todd Taylor, Chris Taylor, all it looks like also a part of the mix there amongst that lead pack. But looks like amongst the ranks of the top 5 cars, all have a chance now to win this, Todd, in the closing stages here. We're now under 15 laps to go.
Yeah, Mike Scott in that number 46 machine had somebody right behind him that was Mark Pagula in the 428 machine. It looks like Pagula just ditched him and went with Donnie Garrett in that 75 machine. So Mike Scott got jumped right to the tail end of this pack. So Mike Scott going to have to make his way back up to the front. As now Mark Pagula works in second place with the number 73 running third. Fourth, Mike Scott. Fifth should be the 51 of TJ Hagler. So Hagler right now 3.922 seconds back. That is your second pack. So you got a 4 car in the lead pack. So you got 4 cars in that lead pack, Phil. So you got more cars in that second pack. If these guys can stay together, I don't know if they can stay in front of it. I think there's 7 cars in that pack.
Yeah, I think the count is 7. Car on the line here you see in the lead pack is the 31 machine of Todd Taylor. Todd is 1 lap down, currently running in the 15th position. But you said that top 4 has broken away. Donnie Garrett, Mark Paglia, Larry Borger, Mike Scott. They have 4 seconds on 5th place. TJ Hagler, Jim Widrow, Ricky LeDuc, all there. Now some shuffling up amongst the ranks of that pack. 3 seconds in the rears, all chasing that top 4 down the back straightaway.
Yeah, it looks like they're on the same straightaway now. The number 12 of Jim Woodrow leading the pack with Ricky LeDuc in that second pack. So I think they're starting to reel them in. They're 3.081 seconds back as they come down into turn number 3. The number 96 of Ricky LeDuc sitting in that 6th spot. Then you got Greg Trogdon in that 41. He's sitting 7th, so we're going to come by and see through the scoring loop if these guys are actually running them down. I think they are indeed doing so. So it's going to be a huge battle up front. Looks like it's going to be like a 12-car pack if these guys catch. And it looks like, yeah, 2.346 seconds back. So that second pack starting to reel in the first pack.
I think what's going to happen here, Todd, and I think you're seeing it, lap traffic is playing an indirect role in what way may happen here in the closing stages. That 31 machine, Todd Taylor, keeps peaking on a line. That's allowed that second pack being led by Jim Widrow. Ricky LeDuc to close down from 3.5 seconds now to just over 2 seconds. So they've closed down over a second. Now that lead pack seems to be back into single file formation. Todd Taylor's pulled in a 5th car in line, but as we said, Todd a lap down in that 15th position in the 31. That front 4 all in perfect lockstep, being led by Donnie Garrett, Mark Paglia in the 428, Larry Borger, Mike Scott in the number 46, all in that top 4. But that second pack, Todd, 1.3 seconds last time by, and I believe we're going to have a race on our hand here thanks to that lap car.
Yeah, and they got a full head of steam coming down the back straightaway. Jim Woodrow now right there in shooting distance of that lap car, the number 31 of Todd Taylor. Taylor now, he's going to drift up high and let this second pack go by. Todd Taylor in that number 31 machine going to fall back. Now Jim Woodrow sets his sights on this first pack, and now he is joining the ranks of the first pack in that number 12 machine. How much head of steam do these guys have as they go to the high side? All kinds of cars up on the high side now with the number 12 of Jim Woodrow. So Woodrow making some headway.
Jim Widrow's got a big head of steam on that high line. Here he comes with a big push from the 96 of Ricky LeDuc. That's now racing action for the 4th spot. It's going to come down to a dramatic finish here on DRTV if this Helloween 500 is going to stay green. All hell is absolutely broken loose down the back straightaway and into turn number 3. Jim Woodrow trying to make the whole shot move in the high lane. Door slam there Looks like maybe the 428 of Mark Paglia. Somebody come up the hill and broke that momentum. That's going to allow that low lane to break back away. That being led by Donnie Garrett off of turn 4.
Yeah, the 428 of Mark Paglia is the car that moved up to the top side to break the momentum of the guys that were up there. Woodrow now stalling right around 4th place. He's battling with the number 46 of Mike Scott. We have 11 laps to go here at the Talladega Superspeedway in the Helloween 500 here with the racing group here. So we're going to have to see what happens here. Is now the top groove is starting to fail now. Single file once again here amongst the ranks of the top 6, Phil.
Top 6 of all formed in a single file line. The race has been for 7 between the 12 of Jim Windrow and that number 38 of JT Mayhew. I've not talked about him much tonight, but he's now just as much a factor in this lead group as I believe anybody here amongst that top dozen cars racing single file for the race lead here. 10 laps to go at the stripe. Can Donnie Garrett make this thing hold on? He's got that number 75 machine. It's a borrow ride. As he said, somebody could not make the show in that 75 and put the nature boy Donnie Garrett. And what better wheelman can you hire at one of these super speedways as he's found that 75 up near the front of the field and in the race lead into turn number 3. But he's got a hungry pack of lions behind him. Mark Paglia, Larry Borger. We know Mike Scott's not going to ride a line. He said, we're going to see you guys in victory lane. So if the 46, has any bones about it, he's going to find his way to pit lane, or to victory lane, rather. And Todd, don't look now, but into the top 5, I believe, for the first time tonight is Robbie Nicest, the number 54. You can't count Robbie out. He's a good super speedway guy. Anybody's race amongst this top 10 as we go to turn 3.
Yeah, a lot of different players here. Towards the end of the race, the cream does rise to the top here at the Talladega Superspeedway, and these guys have fought through attrition, yellow flags, green flag pit stops, and these guys, the top 12 guys, now the top 10 guys are in the lead pack, as 2 of the other guys have now fallen off this lead pack, but the top 10 guys now able to battle it out with almost 9 laps to go, going to come up on 8 laps to go as we're coming off of 4. So we're going to have to see what Donnie Garrett's going to do. What's going through Donnie Garrett's head as he's leading this pack? What kind of moves is he going to make, Phil?
Well, I don't want to speak for Donnie, but I think if I'm up there in the head of the nature boy and a big old collective, whoo, I'm keeping that thing on the low side of the speedway. I am not letting anybody. I'm not letting Mark Paglia. I'm not letting Larry Borger. I'm not letting anybody down at low side. I'm going to make them go up high. We've seen all night long that low side has to be the fast way around. We've seen them guys just stay glued to this yellow line that goes around the speedway all evening long. And to even accomplish a pass up to the high side, it's taken 3 to 4 cars there. I mean, in perfect just lockstep. You got to be locked up on the rear bumper to make anything happen up there. So if I'm Donnie Garrett, and I think Todd, you'll agree, you got to keep that thing to the low side of the speedway. Rich, do you agree?
I definitely do, especially we've been seeing it happen all night. There's a caution out on the track right now, but the low side is the place to be. It's going to be very tough for them to pass on the top side. With this caution coming out right now, this is definitely going to give us possibly a couple lap shootout. So I don't think the excitement is over. I'm going to get busy working on seeing what caused this caution, guys. Back up to you.
All right, under the yellow flag, my unofficial clicker says I believe it's the 8th yellow flag tonight in the Helloween 500 here from the Talladega Super Speedway. Paying a visit here to our friends at East Coast Thunder Sim Racing League. A great bunch of guys over here. So much good stuff always going on. I believe it was a 51 of TJ Hagler that may have been involved in the carnage. A 51 of the 4 is what I'm getting from Race Control, Rich, to give you some heads up there, what to look for here to show our viewers what happened on the replay. With a yellow flag on lap number 134, it's 141 laps to main event distance. We're under 10 laps to go. And Todd, no better way, we the ECT guys, always a lot of fun, always freewheeling, the sparks always fly over here in a good way. These guys are a good-natured group, but they let it wear on their sleeve, and no better way to let all hell break loose here with under 10 laps to go. A shootout. Do you expect anything less from these guys at ECT? It's going to be an awesome finish.
I don't expect anything less from these East Coast Thunder guys as they put on the whale of a show last time we stopped over here at East Coast Thunder. And these guys, it's not over. I mean, Donnie Garrett's up front here. he's trying to game plan and trying to see who will stay with him, who will work with him. We're going to have to see who's going to work with him, who's not going to work with him, who's going to try this high side. There's all kinds of moves you can pull. I think we'll have about a 2-lap shootout, maybe, Phil, maybe a 3 or 4-lap shootout. I'm not sure how long these yellow flags are going to be here this evening, but I'm going to throw it down to Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton, who has a replay queued up. What happened to bring out this yellow flag, Rich?
Yeah, we're going to keep our eyes on Hagler and Schilling. These two guys are back there running by themselves. They're trying to bump draft, and you guys know how it is on a super speedway. You got so much going for you. You want to get up there. You want to try everything you can, and this is another story of a bump draft gone wrong. As you can see, Schilling's just trying to push Hagler through the corner, not meaning anything bad. At least that's the way it appears. Bump draft gone wrong. Hagler's going to get loose. That's going to send both up into the wall. Next thing you know, we almost had a roof surfer there in Schilling's car. And he's door sliding, goes over on his roof, comes back on all fours. Just a tough break. That's going to cause him a lot of damage. And not sure either of these two guys are going to be able to recover and make up the distance in this short amount of time left. Back up to you guys.
All right, so under the yellow flag here, with just a handful or less laps to go here, the Helloween 500 for our friends at ECT. It's going to be a shootout here, and one guy we've seen him up and down the field tonight, Todd. We have not seen him up amongst the ranks of a top 5 much, and he's certainly there now, and that's our friend Mr. Robbie Nice is there in the 54. Robbie, Phil LaCassa of DRTV. Do you have a copy?
Yes, I do. How you doing, gentlemen?
We're doing great up here. We got a shootout on our hands, Robbie. We have not seen you penetrate your way up toward the top 5 for most of this evening, but you find your way there now. Can you put that 54 car to victory lane?
I'd like to think I have a pretty good chance. I mean, I hate to say everything's going according to plan, but it kind of has been. My Deadly Pumpkins Camaro has been able to. I've been able to put it pretty much wherever it needed to be, and right now I need to be in the top 5 so we can make a break with these few 4 or 5 laps remaining.
Now, was your strategy coming in tonight to just make laps to let that thing ride in the middle of the pack and just take the race as it came? Was that the plan for you coming in, just to keep that thing out of trouble all night and to be here at the end?
Yeah, I have a real bad track record of getting wrecked early to mid-race, so I kind of hung towards the back and stuff and tried to avoid people that I thought were driving over their heads. So it worked. It got me. Like I said, I'm in 5th place right now, and I think we've got to be moving up from there.
Well, Robbie, we've seen everybody that's glued to that low side of the speedway all night long around the entire racetrack. Everybody planted on that yellow line. Now, do you think that's where you're going to have to be to get a whole shot move for the race winner? Can you make something up high? And how much help are you going to need in that high lane to get a pass like that done?
Well, luckily I should start on the bottom, but if I have to jump up to the high side, I do have some friends, and it's definitely going to take friends on the outside. It's not quite a 2-to-1 push, but the grip is very similar both ways, but it's just the fact that you're going the long way around.
Well, absolutely right. Well, Robbie, good to catch up with you here again, and I hope to see a lot more here on DRTV, but good luck here. You're going to restart here within the top 5, less than a handful of laps to go. So pull those belts tight and get back at it. Good luck, my friend.
All right, thank you. And also, of course, thank ECT and everybody who made this happen for the 13th Helloween 500.
All right, I echo that absolutely. Todd, Robbie Nicest, the 54, coins himself the nicest guy out here in the NASCAR Racing 2-on-3 community. And good to see Robbie now up there among the ranks of the top 5.
It is good. It is good to see him up amongst the top 5. Robbie Nicest is one of the nicest guys around the NASCAR 2003 community. A lot of these guys over at East Coast Thunder, you can get with them if you want to race any night over there, and these guys will help you out. So East Coast Thunder, good racing group here, and they've put on a whale of a show here this evening. We are on lap 136, going to be lap 137 of 141 here for the Helloween 500, and it's going to come down to who's going to play their cards right, Phil, at the end. What kind of strategy these guys are going to play out. Robbie Nicest looks like he's going to stick to the bottom side of the speedway, as he was saying. He restarts on the bottom, and I think that's where he's going to stay.
Well, I think if I'm Robbie, you said restarting an inside line. That's exactly where I want to start. We've seen this. We've seen everybody glued to the low side all evening long, and I'm not sure I'm going to lift it off the low side. I think I'm going to try to force the action because if somebody's going to make a run on Donnie Garrett, somebody's going to have to go to that outside. And I think what you may see is Donnie have to play some defense, and you may see him come off that low lane, which may bottleneck some guys up toward that high side. It may give a guy like Robbie, who's down on the inside, maybe just a gap to keep his foot in the throttle and maybe make something happen. So a lot of drama here to unfold here. Working lap number 137. It's going to be a 4-lap shootout to the finish. The DRTV pace fan lights are extinguished. The field is in the back straightaway. We're going to put it under the command here. Hand it over to the nature boy, Donnie Garrett. Can he find himself another big win here on DRTV? Can a newcomer to Mark Paglia? We have not spoken to Mark here much over the year plus of the airwaves here on DRTV. Can Mark be a new name to victory lane? Can Larry Borg on the 73, can he find his way to the pit, to the victory lane? We know Mike Scott's hungry. He's there fourth. He said, guys, watch out. I got plenty of laps. I know how to get there. I'll see you in victory lane. So many stories up and down this leaderboard. We have 13 cars left on the lead lap. Donnie Garrett, Mark Paglia, Larry Borger, Mike Scott, Robbie Nices, JT Mayhew, Jim Windrow, Ricky LeDuc, John Forgione, Greg Trogdon. That's your top 10 Bobby and Brucios right there. TJ Hagler, Brian Schilling. You know, those 13 guys all on the lead lap. Todd, you got 13. The pace band lights are in. Can it be one from anywhere in this 13-car packer? Do you think that winning move has to be made among the ranks of the top 5?
It can be anybody's race. Again, high-speed chess match at the Talladega Super Speedway. Anybody's race. 13 cars left on the lead lap. 13th anniversary here for the Halloween 500. So we're going to have to see what kind of number play we have here going on. Green flag is in the air, and we're back to racing here for the Halloween 500. Donnie Garrett gets a good start, but equally as good as the 428 of Mark Pagula, trying to work over the top side into the corner.
Yeah, and I think the advantage that Mark may have is Mike Scott. He wasn't quickly on the gas pedal, but he's going to get that thing wound up in a high lane. Is he going to have enough time to get to the rear bumper of that 428 and push him to the race lead? It looks like as they exit turn 2, that answer may be no. But as they gain toward turn number 3, that outside line, yellow flags on the speedway. A yellow flag. This may be the race back to the checkered flag as they hit turn 3. One car loose. That looks to be the Paglia machine loose. Off of turn number 4. It looks like it may be a race to the checkered flag from here. Donnie Garrett looks to be the race leader off of turn 4. The 73 of Larry Borger trying to mount that one last charge to the line. Donnie Garrett is going to win the race back to the yellow flag, Todd. And he said, as we documented, I'm no math major, but I believe that may be it. That may have just taken the checkered flag there under the yellow flag. And if that's the case, the nature boy, Donnie Garrett, is once again going to find his way to victory lane here on DRTV.
Yeah, good run. I believe that will call it out. As Michael Scott was another guy that was around. I think that was after the yellow flag came out. The 46 of Mike Scott, and the 46 he's out now with an accident. So tough break for Mike Scott. Not sure what happened there on the initial start, but yellow flag came out about the back straightaway. So we'll have to see what happens. On the speedway, so we're waiting for Rich to queue up that replay. I'm going to throw it to Phil and what happens.
All right, so while we got Rich hard at work down there, and he's in our ear saying, guys, I got a doozy to show you here. So this will no doubt be the flag that ends the race under the yellow flag. This race will end under the caution. It looks like Donnie Garrett is going to pick up the win tonight here in the Halloween 500. But for the last time tonight, let's get our last DRTV replay. So, Rich, down to you.
Yeah, most definitely, guys. This is something I can't say that I have ever seen before. I don't know if there's trolls under the track in Talladega or what's going on, but you guys know in online racing, sometimes things happen, connection issues happen, glitches happen, and all this good stuff. What I want you to do is keep your eyes on the number 4. He's going to be in the back on the top row. Kind of hard to see him from right now, but you're going to get a real good look at his car in just a moment. We're going to go through this slow motion. Notice that car just now disappeared. I'll back this up. There he is. I go forward. He disappears. Next thing you know, it's got to be a troll. A troll's going to throw his car back on the track. Did you guys see that? It was amazing. His car came out of nowhere, went across the field, smokes underneath the track, and now he's back on the track, completely messed up, flipping all over the place. And it's like nobody else even seen anything that happened. It's a troll. It must have been a troll. Just drug him under the track, flipped him back up on the track, and nobody saw anything. I don't know what to tell it, guys. That's all I can see.
Well, it's smoke, but Todd, you know, it's Halloween. It's the Helloween 500. If we're going down in flames tonight, there's gonna be smoke. There was plenty of smoke. This was the 9th yellow flag of the race. But when the smoke settles, all the dust clears, the hellfire and brimstone, all of it. Who's gonna come out on top? Not the Undertaker. The Nature Boy, Donnie Garrett, is gonna find his way to victory lane.
Yeah, barring anything that may happen, something may weird happen to the 75. It's still not over yet, Phil. Even though we're under yellow flag, something weird can happen. We've seen it before, where somebody just, maybe a troll will jump out and grab Donnie Garrett. Zombies, something from the grave, something from beyond the grave could jump out and grab Donnie Garrett, and somebody else may win this race. But that's likely not to happen, but you never know.
I'm not sure. I'll ask the DRTV viewers there in YouTube land. Are we going to see a zombie apocalypse here in turn number 1 that's going to preclude any of these guys from making one more circuit around the racetrack, or will Donnie Garrett get back in one piece? And I don't know about you, Todd, but if there is a zombie apocalypse going, you know, I'm not cut out for that. If I see anything start crawling off the ground, I'm out of here.
Well, I don't know. I might have to stop and think about that one a minute. I may fight a couple of minutes, at least get my shots in and then run.
All right, so we're being goofy here to put a period on this thing. The white flag and the yellow flag. This race is going to end under the yellow flag condition. One more lap around the speedway, and that will officially crown the Nature Boy Donnie Garrett as the victor for the 13th annual Helloween 500 for our friends at East Coast Thunder. It's been an awesome race tonight. It's been a long one, and we knew it coming in. 141 laps around the Talladega Superspeedway. Things were going to get wacky. I mean, it's Halloween. I mean, look at this place. The Halloween glitz and glamour all over this place. The orange walls, the tombstones. It was no doubt going to get crazy, and it sure has. And, you know, is there a crazier guy out in this whole community than we know than Donnie Garrett? He had what it takes to find his way to victory lane. The field behind the DRTV pace van in the back straightaway. Donnie Garrett's going to pick up the victory. Larry Borger is going to finish up second. Robbie Nisus, he's going to bring that number 54 home third. Jim Woodrow is going to come home fourth. TJ Hagler fifth. 6 through 10, you'll find Greg Trogdon, Ricky LeDuc, Bobby Ambrosio, John Forgione. JT Mayhew is going to come home with the top 10 tonight. Mark Paglia, after a great run, is going to have to come home 11th. Todd Taylor is going to finish up a solid 12th place. Jason Wolf 13th, Brian Bell 14th. Looks like Mike Scott's going to unofficially end up around that 15th spot out of the event. Chris Taylor 16th. The slingshot Gary Mingus appears to finish up 17th. 18th will be Brian Schilling. These drivers out of the event. 19th, Pete Sindone. 20th, Tim Knopsker. 21st, Danny Savory. Fred Morrell, Bruce Phelan 22nd rather. Fred Morrell 23rd. Jerry Walters is going to finish 24th. Rick Moon will finish up 25th. Josh Metallic 26th. Chuck McClure, the upholsterer, he ended up blowing a gearbox. He'll finish up 27th. Brian Hogue's going to finish up the evening 28th. 29th, last on the field, David Lawson. He was out early on lap number 1, engine expiring. But the checkered flag, Todd, is in the air over the DRTV pace fan. And that's officially going to hand the win over to the Nature Boy, Donnie Garrett.
Match is lit, and we're about ready to throw it, and it's thrown, and we're about ready to burn it now down to the ground, and it's all over for Donnie Garrett. The Nature Boy picks up the win for the Helloween 500, followed by Larry Boger in that number 73 machine, and the 54 of Robbie Nisus. Great race here for the East Coast Thunder guys, and again, guys, pick up those DVDs, $10 even after the race, and you can get them anytime after the race. $10, great memories to share, and and you can share them around Christmas time, even with your family and friends that come around and show what great accomplishments you've done all year long.
They make for great stocking stuffers, and what better way to have anything under your tree? Head over to the DRTV store at drlracing.com, which of course is the home of DRTV. To find all your merchandise and of course to profile your league on DRTV, head over to our website as well. See if we can't get worked out with our top three finishers here tonight. That being Donnie Garrett, of course, your race winner, Larry Borger, who finished up second. And our third place finisher tonight, the 54 of Robbie Nice. We just got to talk to him here a few laps ago, but we'll do this as a top three podium interview. Robbie Nice is Phil from DRTV. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, sure do, Phil.
Robbie just appears to be, he comes a little bit short, ran out of laps there due to that late yellow, but I'm sure you're tickled to death to bring that 54 car home third.
Definitely was. I mean, like I told you, I had a plan, but as they say in Formula One, it was time to go to Plan B, and Plan B was just to tuck in behind those, and then the caution came out, so there was no chance of slingshots. Plus, I also need to protect my own position because there were some good drivers behind me that, given a chance, would have taken my Deadly Pumpkins Camaro and left it in their desk.
Well, Robbie, on behalf of all of us here at DRTV, great to talk to you again. I'm going to give you the microphone one more time. The floor is all yours to give a shout-out to or thank whoever you'd like for allowing you to be out on the speedway here this evening.
Well, I live by myself, so I guess I want to thank myself, and my crew. And, of course, I want to thank Bruce for the awesome Deadly Pumpkins paint scheme he gave me for tonight. I mean, he's exclusively my painter. Does great work for me all the time. Of course, Pete and ECT and the admins, of which I happen to be one, for taking, I mean, we've been working on this for like 2.5, 3 months. Obviously, we'd like a few less cautions, but otherwise, great finish. And finally, not only do I get to talk to you, but my first top 10 in a TV race at ECT in 8 years.
Well, that's an accomplishment amongst itself. Well, Robbie, once again, a hearty congratulations from all of us up here in the booth, and we'll hope to catch up with you here real soon. Congratulations again. Good job.
Thanks a lot, Phil, and thanks you guys also.
All right, well, we appreciate the support. And Todd, that was our third place finisher there. Robbie Nice is the 54. Good to see him up here. Great to see him on the podium. But another first tonight. We haven't caught up with our good friend Larry Borger. So, Todd, down to you. I believe you've got our runner-up finisher here tonight.
Yeah, I've caught up with the driver out of Lexington, South Carolina, Larry Borger, in that number 73 machine. Larry, was that your plan to stay behind Donnie Garrett and push him to the win, or if that yellow flag didn't come out, were you going to try something on him?
I don't know. I think what I was going to do is I had a couple others behind me, and we were thinking about maybe possibly go out of line and go to the high side. But we were contemplating that, but we noticed earlier in the race it wasn't working very well, so I don't know how that would have played out if it would have stayed green.
Could you have seen the bump and run, maybe?
That's a possibility.
Well, anything for a TV race, anything to win on TV, right?
Oh yeah. That was a good race, though, but right there at the end, I just figured I'd just stay behind Donnie and just let me and him go.
Well, again, a great second-place finish. I know you got a lot of people you probably want to thank live here on DRTV that got you here. I'm going to give you the microphone. The floor is all yours, Larry.
Yeah, first shout-out I want to give to ECT for putting on a good race and for hosting, all the admins for being there and putting this together. Y'all for televising the race. Y'all do a great job with our league. I'd like to thank Mike Scott to help me out in my life, Jason Wolf, Chuck, a couple others out there for helping me through the years to get a little bit better.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was driver of the number 73, Larry Borger, in second place here this evening in the Helloween 500. I'm going to throw it down to Mr. TV Time, Rich Patton, who has caught up with our winner, the driver of the number 75. Woo! Donnie Garrett. What's going on?
What's up, Donnie? I finally met up with Donnie down here on Pit Road, and you won, man.
Oh, I tell you, what a night, man. I just feel privileged to be here.
Well, I tell you what, I don't know if you knew it or not, but your car owner was actually keeping tabs on you on the live feed tonight, watching, and he was alive in the chat box, rooting for you all the way through, and he was getting very exciting, man. So I know you probably got something to say for him.
Well, I got to thank old Randy for letting me fill in to him for him tonight. I was kind of a late entry in this thing, and got to thank Pete and them for letting me in, and just glad I did Randy good in the old Hotel Transylvania no-tell motel car.
All right, well there you go. This was a pretty big event. You know, had a few cautions or whatever. You've been up towards the front, a little bit in the middle field tonight. I'm not sure if you got caught up in any of the issues, but did you pretty much run the race that you expected, and did it all turn out the way you wanted it, or was this just a crapshoot and lucky timing?
I just committed to the bottom. I mean, I'm a bottom feeder. I commit to the bottom, and then, you know, we get down under 5 to go. I'm starting to watch the lines. I watch more in my mirror than I do out the front, and watch what line's coming. And it just, you know, with that restart, it just was so fast, it never came. And I think it was going to be hard to hold Mark out there. Mark is doing a great job tonight, and I think it would have been hard to hold him off with Mike Scott behind him if we could have had a couple laps there. But, I mean, thank God I'm here, and old Space Mountain will be rocking tonight.
Well, 10-4, there you have it. Well, I'm going to turn the mic over one more time to Donnie Garrett, the Nature Boy, running in the 75 tonight. To hats off for the win, and the floor is all yours, buddy.
Thank you, bud. I want to thank Randy Chafflin for giving me this opportunity to run tonight in the Hotel Transylvania car. Got to thank Pete, man. I appreciate that guy to death, and for letting me race this thing. And TJ for getting me in. Mike Scott for all the help. My teammates, Tim Nosfer, I think that's how you pronounce that last name, and Josh, and you know, we all kind of stayed together tonight trying to help each other as much as we could. But just a great night. These don't come too often anymore, and it's wonderful.
All righty, Donnie. Well, there you have it, guys. Back up into the booth. Long race, Woo! 141. There's Donnie Garrett, excited about this win, guys. Back up in the booth.
Oh, absolutely. Always good to catch up with our buddy Donnie Garrett, and congratulations to him once again for taking out the win here tonight. The 13th annual Helloween 500 for our buddies here at the East Coast Thunder. A big hats off to all these guys, Todd. It was a long race, but at the end of the day, it was a great race, and I guess that's the most important thing to all our viewers out here. The product was good, and I'd like to thank them all for tuning in, and said a big hats off to Pete and all these guys over at ECT.
Yeah, fantastic showing from East Coast Thunder Group over here for the Helloween 500. Got to remind you guys one last time, DVDs, $10 here after the race, $10. Great Christmas stalkers. Stop by the DRTV store. Make sure you stop by and pick up some DRTV merchandise. We have all kinds of things to offer over there. If you've not stopped there, make sure you do stop by indeed and pick something up and support DRTV out there in the land. And Phil, great race. I'm going to wrap it up with here. And again, Donnie Garrett, that was a better woo, I'm going to have to say.
Well, that was indeed an inspiring woo there in Victory Lane. As you know, Donnie would definitely be excited. And always good to catch up with Donnie, and really cool to see him in Victory Lane here as part of this Helloween 500. So, of course, the home of DRTV is DRLRacing.com. Head over there. Todd said go to the DRTV store. Also, if you'd like to get your league here on DRTV, click to the event package page and check out all the great packages we got. This custom fit just to fit every one of your league's needs out there. Get Todd, Rich, myself over to your place and showcase all the great things that your league has. So DRLRacing.com is the home of DRTV. That's the place to find us, and we'd love to come to you. Next up for us here on the docket in a few weeks, we're going to make a return visit to our friends over at the SMO Hardcore Racing League here on a Saturday night, that being November the 14th. Looking forward to that race as well. And a week after that, November the 21st, we make a visit over to the TNT gang, the Holden Motorsports 300 from a Thompson International Speedway. The Whalen Modifies, what better way? And while we talk about the Whalens, can't wait to get to Fred Hill's place. The Thompson 300, no doubt my favorite race on the face of the earth, and cannot wait for 3 weeks to get here to go to Thompson. And of course, if you're a modified enthusiast, I believe like Todd and myself are, the DRTV Whalen Modify Series starting in about a month, December the 5th. That's being run by TDR Racing Stable under the DRL Racing banner. Head over to that website. We're taking registrations now. That will be an awesome series as well. So all drivers are welcome to run that series. The home for that series, TDRRacing.net. Love to have you. So on behalf of Rich And for my broadcast partner, Too Tall Todd Stanton, it's been a great night here on DRTV. My name is Phil LaCassa. We hope to see you next time. Thank you for watching our latest installment of DRTV.